and we're ready to go live. So, welcome everyone to another episode of The Rundown, this time for the Mario versus Luigi Tour. We are live streaming this, so in addition to Antilev and I going through this information, I'll keep an eye on the chat. So, first of all, the first person in the chat was Perseverance. How you doing, Perseverance? I see Marco. I see Tokyo DR, Vista, Dan, Ted. Antilev's even doing a little wave in there. Antilev, you can't be in both. You're gonna break the metaverse, man. I see Domo, Cloington. Hope you guys are doing well. Yes, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, Antilev. I'm sure the whole entire community is saying, "How are you feeling, man?"
I am doing great, actually. Totally fine, totally recovered, and excited for the new tour. So yeah, good to be back. Sorry about missing the last one, but I'm here now.
We're here and we're ready to enjoy the Mario versus Luigi Tour. I love these items. It looks like we also are getting some Kart Life raids coming in. So shout out to Pepper Rabbit, Snout the Tinker. Just you guys were very engaged on that live stream. I was in there a little earlier. Rain Jean, I see Priska, DJ Unk, I see Melon Toad, and Doge Rody and Maxi. So welcome, guys. The stream is quiet. Match your track. Okay, so I can try to turn up some of the volume, but this is pretty maxed out here on OBS. So
let me see if I can turn my microphone up.
You turn your mic up, and I'll talk a little louder. And we'll make it work. I can take it closer to my face. Cool, guys. Awesome. We'll get into it as we're checking out some mic options there. Have to give a big shout out. As I promised last episode, I did get to update this member community, and honestly, I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised how much the membership has grown. In fact, I think the studs in general. I mean, it's been a while since we've. I think the last tour, I think Antilev, you had, and maybe one other person had, maybe Kareem had done some gifting, but there's it's even grown since all the crazy gifting from Nintendo back in December, I think, when it brought in probably an extra 100 members. And so just have a huge thank you to all the stud members. You guys are awesome. Again, it's so cool to see this community grow, especially as we've had complications behind the scenes. So thank you for your patience. This is being recorded live with you on Monday. And I know it's not normal. Usually we like to do this with you on Saturday mornings or Saturday afternoons, depending on your time zone and everything. But I really appreciate your patience. We had, again, issues last tour were unrelated to this tour, and there's been a couple issues this year. So all thank you so much for your support, your patience. I have to give a huge shout out to all of our members here, especially to our super studs, Frenzy Fans, Frenzy Grind, SM Bros, Hero of the Skies, Issa, Larry98, who also helps us produce a lot of this information, Kareem J, Jeeves, Nat, and Zhao Zhao. So let's get into it, guys. I mean, I know you've had to wait so long, so let's go ahead and jump into the new items, and obviously the number one we have to talk about, Luigi Gold Knight. I think when we saw that he was coming out, there was like very little doubt that he was not going to have Coinbox. So I think as we opened up the app, there's some good things and bad things. Obviously, the one Coinbox exclusive that King Mario had, which was Cookie Land, the battle track, is now shared with his brother with the Coinbox. So that part, you saw that right off the bat. That's a big knock against King Mario. Now, of course, we saw Gold Me on that because he's on the second tier. So sometimes he'll get a nice little tier boost. But that was the big glaring one. There's a couple good tracks in here, but have to give it to you, Antilev. What's your thoughts right off the bat with Luigi Gold Knight?
So I'm extremely hyped because it looks awesome. And I'm extremely annoyed because his starting set of tracks is completely wasted because he's basically only going to be usable for the last hour of this tour. So he got a really awesome one of his starting tracks, a buff. It's actually the second most valuable buff in the entire tour. It's his Top Shelf and Luigi Circuit T, which is in the second week ranked. However, you can't use him on it. So I'm really frustrated by that. I understand that Nintendo want to make these certain items kind of chase items and make people work really hard for them, but they should really not put new items as week 2 only ranked rewards, because a big part of the value of a new item is that you can take it up to level 6, level 7, level 8 immediately. You can use it in ACR, you can use it in ranked when it has a lot of the, it's all of its tracks are in that tour, and we just completely miss out on that. And then for that to be the first Coinbox driver that we've had in, is it 6 months? When did Wintertime Larry come out? That was last year already, right?
December. Yeah.
That's really disappointing. Okay, I'll stop ranting about that and let's talk about his starting set of tracks. It's pretty good. That Cookie Land buff is a great one, because as you said, the only permanent top shelf on that before was Mario King, so that's a big loss for King Mario. Now, yeah, as you said, Gold Me suit is very often top shelf there from a Me boost, since it's mid shelf, but still, that Cookie Land is going to be there every 2 out of 3 tours, and Luigi Gold Knight's always going to be there. So if you don't have Mario King at a high level, it's one more reason to invest in Luigi Gold Knight right away, and not even just from this tour. Out of his 10 starting tracks, he's got the 1 battle track. He's got 3 new tracks. One of them is a level 8 unlock with all the new items this tour. Their level 8 unlock is all one of the 12 new tracks. 2 recent tracks, I guess those are both Luigi Raceways. Those are not quite a year old yet, so we consider them to have some newness bonus. And then 4 old tracks. We have a lot of old tracks in this tour. All 3 of the SNES Mario circuits. We have the Ghost Valley 1, and we've got the 3DS Mario circuit. So those are going to be the least valuable buffs this tour. But if you look at the other new items this tour, 4 out of 10 is not actually that bad. So I would say a decent to above average start. And then the fact that he's Coinbox, it's pretty good. He does start with 1 exclusive on the ranked track, and let me see if he has any other ones. I think I didn't add him to the list of ranked exclusives yet, so I have to double check what his exclusives are. But overall, the start is it's not a dud start. It's a pretty solid start. If you are feeling this tour, if you want to invest in him right away, especially if you're not a whale and you don't have like all the Miis or 20 plus Me suits or whatever, I would say this is a pretty safe one to invest in right away. Yes, he is a medium, but I think putting my prediction hat on here, he could probably see the similar kind of trajectory as Ty Daisy.
Wow.
That's a big guess just going from the first tour, but we haven't had the Coinbox drivers who have disappointed are the ones that have come in bunches. So we're talking about Gold PD Piranha, we're talking about King Mario, and they were all released when a lot of other Coinbox drivers were being released at the same time. Daisy kind of came out and there was no Coinbox drivers around her. Larry Wintertime, aside from his small size, has been pretty good as well. If he was a heavy, he'd probably be a top 5 driver. So I think the fact that we haven't had a new Coinbox driver in such a long time, it bodes really well for Luigi Gold Knight. So that's my opinion on him. Is there anything you wanted to add, how you feel about him, Studfit, before we move on? Because this is probably the most important driver we've had added in a long time.
Yeah, I don't mind sitting here for a little bit and talking a little bit more about it. I do have to take a little time out and give a huge shout out to Kareem, who's gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Kareem. Some dono hype for our boy from the dream. I think with Luigi Gold Knight, obviously there's a lot of dynamics. A lot of people want to compare him to King Mario. Substantially better initial tracks than King Mario, obviously because King Mario came out in the City Tour. So like right off the bat, you're getting a better clump of starting tracks. I think one thing to take note of when it comes to Cookie Land is that Cookie Land, just like any of these battle tracks, there were 4 per tour when it came to the All Cup ranking, and now it's 2. So I'm curious to see like how that impacts your algorithm. Although these tracks keep coming back, there's, instead of having 4 battle tracks in All Cup ranking, there's only 2. But still, I mean that's guaranteed that you're going to get him at least once every other tour, it seems like, for All Cup ranking. So that's a huge win for him. I think some people, I think it was Snout asked in the chat, is that a knock more against the King or more against the Knights when it comes to the battle track going to King to Gold Luigi? So I think from that perspective, it's probably more a knock against King Mario, because we've all been just kind of like looking for this glimmer of hope for him, and that was it. And now it seems like King Luigi or Luigi Gold Knight. I'm still gonna have a hard time jumping between Knight and King, both starting with K, and both kind of this medieval type of timeline. And it's kind of cool that they kind of pair the
call him a Jack.
What's
like,
that?
Like playing cards.
Jack. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think overall, though, he has a great start for a Coinbox driver. I think that the biggest knock against him isn't King Mario. It's more against the Mii's. I mean, a lot of us at this point in time, back in the day, a new Coinbox driver came out. You had to get him. You had to take him up to level 7, double and cap at least to start. A lot of us could have taken him up more. But now that we have the Mii's, it makes things very, very complicated. And what's tough about it, obviously, you don't get to use Luigi till the last day of the tour. So really, like all these tracks, I mean, we might go 9, 12 months before we see some of these again. Now, I think some of the newer ones, the fact that to your point, he has so many of these new ones, most likely we'll see these new ones throughout the year. Whereas the old ones, some of these Mario circuits and stuff, we'll probably see again next Mario. But that's the thing, is we'll always have a Mario versus Luigi tour. So every time that comes back, he's going to have some monster value compared to King Mario, just as just a general comparison. But I mean, the hard part's the Mii's, man. It's going to depend on because we've seen some of these Coinbox drivers, their shelf life get a little bit shorter and a little shorter, except for with one exception, which is Gold Charging Chuck, who seems to be bucking all the trends. But overall, I think I give him probably a B plus, maybe A minus, to be honest with you, for a brand new Coinbox driver. You could do much worse. I think though, whether it comes to your investment or otherwise, I think week 2 of ranked has to be a must win. No matter what happens, you have to win week 2, which gives Nintendo the opportunity to totally screw people over by putting a top 10 driver in someone's rank. So that's kind of my 2 cents. Anything you wanted to add in rebuttal?
No, I think you absolutely nailed it. The main reason that we're just at a state with the Mii's or the base points are so much of a big advantage that if you have all the Mii's or close to all the Mii's or even like a really high number of Mii's, you may be wanting to weigh where you're going to put your tickets. I would say if you're free to play and you haven't hit like tier 80 yet and you don't have the gold Mii, I would say throw everything at this. Get him and invest in him. If you have less than 20 Mii suits, I would say it's definitely my free to play. I'm tanking as much as possible this week, trying to get a double rank down just so I can get an easier rank next week. And I have the gold Mii suit and I have blockhead at level 6. But I will invest in Mii, but still, I think for my free to play account, he's gonna have so much value going forward. That's my prediction. So I think this is really the time to throw everything you got at winning ranked. I'm in a hard saving mode right now because I want to go for top 100 on my free to play account eventually, but I think I might have to break that and invest if I need to next week.
Nice, man. Good couple good call outs out in the chat. So, I'm not able to say hello to everybody, but thank you guys for all chipping in and bringing some good content in there. Obviously, I think some of the question was, we have this Luigi. He's not, gold Luigi. He's gold Knight Luigi. Kind of brings up some comparisons. Rain John mentions about, actually, no, it wasn't. It was about, Marco mentions how, we had Gold Yoshi, Gold Egg something. Technically, he's a variant of the Egg Hunt
Spring Egg Hunt Yoshi.
Yeah. So we've had Dry Bowser Gold and some other stuff, but that's so this isn't the first time we've had this, but it makes you wonder what will be going forward if they'll kind of make more gold variants. I think that's awesome. I think that's great. If this is just Luigi.
We don't have a lot of hero gold variants. Most of our gold variants are villains. So I think, Yoshi is one of the few we've had a gold sort of good guy. So I was kind of surprised to see, I thought we'd be getting like a gold Nabbit or a gold Kamek or something.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool. So again, we kind of have Knight and King. We got some of these Warrior stuff coming up. But to kind of close things out, we do have a new Mii suit. Which obviously two technically, but we'll start with Monty Mole. What's your thoughts on Monty Mole's starting coverage?
Actually, pretty okay. You've got 3 new tracks, I think. 3 new tracks, and then His other tracks are not like none of the, like okay, so the ones you want to avoid are those really old tracks, and he's only got the Monty Mole Racing only has one. It's Mario Circuit R, the 3DS version. It's got 3 new tracks: Luigi Circuit R, Luigi Circuit N at level 8, and Mario Raceway N, so that's a ranked one. And then 3 recent tracks in 2 Luigi Raceway variants and a DS Mario Circuit T. So that's quite a good start. Unfortunately, the skill is not that impressive, but the starting quality of the tracks for Misu is very good.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think the one I'm excited about, obviously, Waluigi Me. I think overall, there's a small chance that I invest in him. If next week ends up being crazy, I am struggling right now on the ranked track there. I'm trying to remember which one it was, where he's an option, the Waluigi Stadium. So a lot of people have Gold Charging Chuck. He's the one that just as the Miis were getting so crazy, driver tickets becoming a rare resource. I never took him up. So if I have to pull it out though, I might invest in this Waluigi Me. But 3 new tracks this tour. What's your thoughts on Waluigi Me?
Yeah, 3 new tracks. He's got that, of course, ranked at level 8 unlock, and another ranked in. Sorry, not another ranked. 3 new tracks, 2 recent tracks, and that we're talking about Luigi Raceway T and Luigi Raceway RT, and then 2 older tracks in Ghost Valley 1R and Mario Circuit 3. So it's slightly worse than the Monty Mole, but still quite a good start. 5 out of the 7 tracks are new or newer tracks. Again, the item is not useful, but for me suits that doesn't actually matter as much.
I'm with you, man. I like it. Obviously, I think he's got a cool look to him. I'm glad that they kind of gave him one, and we'll see when Wario comes out. But I think the biggest new items that we've been so excited about have to be the Karts, guys. So I think before getting into any other car, we have to start with the glaring gold shielded Speedster. Obviously, it is coming with the nuance of being a gold premium challenge, meaning that you got to pay $14-15 or so to get it, assuming you complete all the challenges. But man, I mean, I love the Shield Speedster, the original, as you saw me go all in it on it during my stream last year. I'm kind of torn. We got this gold, and then the one we'll talk about next, which is the black. Both looking awesome. In fact, I think the black looks a little bit cooler. But I think when we saw the gold hard hat come out with this premium challenge, at first, we were like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. This could be a monster item. This is basically gonna be like, the most paywalled items, and so it's gonna have this crazy buffing cycle. And then it just got terrible buffs for probably 2 or 3 tours. And now, since then, it's been basically kind of getting almost like a gold me buffing cycle light. It's been getting really, really good buffs lately, as you can probably going to see as the episode goes on. But what's your thoughts on the gold premium challenge items? What's your thoughts on this gold shield Speedster to start?
I think the gold hard hat balloon was not helped by the fact that it came out with at the same time as the yellow hard hat balloon, which had like an absolutely blazing start. It was so good, and it went up so fast. And so it was like, oh, well, I could have just got that one that I could have gotten for 70 rubies instead of paying, 18 euros or whatever the thing costs. I don't know. So, we are here generally biased against gold items, especially gold cards. And then I remember this is not a gold pass gift. This is in that premium thing. The starting tracks are actually incredible. Really, really impressive starting tracks. It's first of all, starting with 11 tracks. So that's the max possible. And secondly, 5 of those 11 are new for this tour. But if you go through all the tracks, you look at where are the duds here. Okay, I see SNES Mario Circuit 1T, and I see SNES Mario Circuit 1R, and that's it. Everything else is a new track or Luigi Raceway or a DS Mario circuit. So 9 out of 11 starting tracks are high quality tracks. That's an incredible start. And it's got a great hitbox, super big cart, and it comes from or it's starting a family from good kind of history. The Shielded Speedster has been a great cart. So I mean, it's investing in gold carts is always a bit of an iffy proposition, but I think this one has such a good start. It's gonna have to have a really terrible, legendarily terrible run in the next 4 or 5 tours for it not to be at least good quality. I would say this has an incredibly high floor.
Yeah, so a couple things I'm taking away from it. For one, I think this is like where Nintendo is trying to, like, I don't want to say a bad word, but like mind mess us up with giving a gold item like really good coverage. Kind of same thing with the gold hard hat. Like we've kind of been conditioned that gold items are just duds right off the bat. But this is like one way, kind of like the what was it, the gold bullet blaster, where it just had really good coverage, and we just had to keep reminding ourselves that it came out in a special pipe and not like a gold pass reward. So there is kind of that mind effing that Nintendo's trying to do to try to get us to think that maybe some gold items are good, some gold items are bad, but if we're actually paying attention, it's a little different than that. Obviously, you love large hitboxes. It's interesting that they scattered this one with so many others that it almost kind of like if this came out and there were a bunch of other small carts, I don't think we. I think it would be very easy to give it its due publicity, but right now I think it's tough because there's so many cool. I mean, we came out last tour with Cupid Zero. This tour we even got like a bigger Waluigi Mark -2, and then we got the Silver Warrior Wagon, the Gold Warrior. So I mean, it's just so tough. So many big carts. It's kind of clouding a little bit of how excited we should be for this item, and the fact that we won't be able to get this item until further notice. It's not going to be in the Spotlight shop. It's not going to be available really in any other way until Nintendo shows us that it is that they're going to kind of make a change in what they've given us so far with these premium challenges. So I think again, it's going to come down to your personal preference on how much you want to spend the game. But I think when it comes to paywalled items and Nintendo's way of rewarding us, these items are really, really good bang for your buck. And if you have to, and again, to have an amazing start like this is just icing on the cake. So if this, if it gets, and again, it's kind of like Nintendo's giving us an opportunity to say, guys, we'll take some of the guessing work out of it, but you got to pay us money. So it's going to be tough for those who are on the fringe there of gold pass only and play around with potentially spending some money. But let's get to the darker brother. The black shielded Speedster, I think actually the look is much, much better. I love this like purple blue hue, and then it's got like the etching on there. Man, I just think it's probably like the sickest cart that I've seen this year. So big fan of it from an aesthetics standpoint. But what's your thoughts on this coverage?
I'm actually with you on the looks. This one is far and away the best looking cart to have come out in a while, in my opinion. And it started not that bad either. It's starting off with 10 tracks. 4 of the tracks are older tracks. So we got I would say 6 out of 10 high quality. So it's not like the 9 out of 10, 9 out of 11 that the gold one has, but still quite good. 4 new tracks. One is a level 8. Unfortunately, that is one that is in week 2 ranked. But it has another ranked in Waluigi Stadium T. So actually, if you would take it to level 8, you could use it twice in ranked on week 2. And it's got the 2 recent tracks in Luigi Raceway T, and I think it's a DS. No, another. DS Mario Circuit T, sorry. So the other 3, this one and the Silver Warrior Wagon have similar starts. 4 new tracks, 2 recent tracks, 4 old tracks, both of them, and I would say they're both tied for second best start of the tour. And I would say the Shielded Speedster has a bit of a bigger hitbox. I think it's not necessarily that it's wider, but it's a little bit longer. So yeah, that's probably going to be the second best card of the tour. Of course, always check your own coverage. Yeah.
Yeah, I think with week 2 being a must-win for a lot of people who want to get Luigi Golden, I think that I could see some people investing in it. It's still a commemorative item, guys. So it's still going to have like the good value that we have come to expect.
This is a old item, man.
So it's just not instead of $4 or instead of $14, it's only $4. So and obviously it doesn't come with as much stuff. So there is this kind of this next tier.
I don't know. This is in the Spotlight shop. You can buy it for rubies, so maybe a little bit less exclusive.
For sure, right. You'll be able to get in the Spotlight shop. I'm sorry, you can get in the Spotlight shop now, and it also will come back in Spotlight shops in the future, just like with everything else. So yeah, definitely less exclusive. My apologies on not being a commemorative item. Either way, I think it's because I actually got it. This is a rare situation where I got it 3 times in the Spotlight.
It's not there for you anymore.
What's that?
It's not there for you anymore.
It's not there anymore for me anymore. And the thought is actually I've been contemplating. I was like, should I take the gold Speedster to level 8 and triple uncap it, or one thing I've been playing around with. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I still have my gold sitting there at 7,595. Because what if I take them both to 7,595? Use them both in ranked because they don't overlap with each other, at least from the ranked perspective. But like I love them all, man. These are like my new dozers. Like I love the look of them. I wish I don't want to pick between them. So why don't I take them both up? We'll see what happens. But I think when it comes to their coverage, at least from ranked, if they were overlapping all over the place, then I would be a little bit more frustrated. But they actually complement each other from the tracks that they're in ranked for the double features they have. So I love the look of both of them. It's going to be so tough to pick between. But I think there's also some other good cars to take a look at this tour. We'll start with the Silver Warrior Wagon. This is, I believe, this is the commemorative item. What's your thoughts on starting coverage?
The Silver Warrior Wagon. Sorry, it's in a different order than I have them in the slides. Also, like I said, it's kind of similar starting coverage to.
I'm sorry, this one's a Spotlight.
This one's a Spotlight as well. I know that because I bought it on my free-to-play account, not for any strategical reason. I basically I had some rubies saved up, and I asked my son, like, do you want to buy any of these? And he's like, yeah, I want to buy this one. It looks the coolest. So actually, he thinks this one looks cooler than the Black Shielded Speedster. So I don't know what that means. Yeah, I know.
It does look really cool. These silver carts, I think the silver carts look way better than the gold ones, just because they take a lot more of the sky and the ambiance on the track and kind of absorb it more.
They do.
It looks just cooler. I'm with you.
You can get some super cool screenshots with these carts just from the reflections. And so this comes from also a very good family. The Warrior Wagon and Armored Rider both spent quite a lot of time in the top 10. Armored Rider's been a former number 1. So if you're a sort of believer in that kind of good families of cards, it's definitely going to be a solid one. It's got 4 new tracks. It's starting off with Rank Track and Mario Raceway RT. That's week 1. You can already use it there, and the new one that has a level 8 unlock isn't a ranked one, so you don't need to take it to level 8 to be able to use it for rank there. So that's quite nice. And then you got Luigi Circuit in week 2. So you buy this one, you can use it 2 times in ranked at level 1, which is actually quite nice. And 2 recent tracks in the DS Mario Circuit, also level 1, and then the DS Mario Circuit RT at level 6 unlock. Pretty solid start. Like I said, kind of tied there for number 2 with the Black Shielded Speedster. I know you want to compare the Gold Shielded Speedster with the Black Shielded Speedster, but these two, considering they have such a similar set of quality starting tracks, 6 out of 10 quality tracks, both of them. This one and the Black Shielded Speedster, I'm kind of interested to see how this one and the Black Shielded Speedster are going to kind of develop alongside one another. But definitely a good one. We have a lot of good cards this tour. It's kind of hard to choose.
So it's so tough. And then, of course, so that's I think the one that we easily want to move forward without investing in, just because we're so burnt out on gold cards. But it still looks awesome. Still got a large hitbox. That's the Gold Warrior Wagon. What's your thoughts on its starting coverage?
Yeah, so they're not really. It's a gold pass gift, so of course they have to treat it like crap. 10 starting tracks, so a decent number. Only 2 new ones, and one of them is level 8 unlock. So that is unfortunate. You do have the one that's not a level 8 unlocked unranked, the Mario Raceway N, so you could use it for that if you're gold pass and you have it. However, the start is not good. 8 out of its 10 tracks are not new tracks. It's got 3 recent ones in a couple of Luigi Raceways and a DS Mario Circuit RT. It's got 5 old tracks, so that's half of its tracks, which are old, and then the fact that it doesn't have a lot of new tracks. I would say probably has the worst start of any of the new items in the whole tour, drivers, karts, and gliders all combined. Still got a good hitbox, but you know how these gold pass carts go. They're generally always terrible. Maybe 1 or 2 notable exceptions, but I doubt this will be one.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you, man. Now, here's with all that being said. Again, if that all that we just talked about would have been enough to say, wow, there's so many great carts. But then there's this curveball, the Waluigi Racer Mark II. I haven't even like started thinking about it because we can't even race it until rank's over. But what's your thoughts on its coverage? 4 new tracks.
So let me starting with 9 tracks. So this is a very cool looking cart, and it's a new skin. Like we haven't had this this skin yet, so it's a complete unknown. Hitbox wise, I think it's pretty big. It's reasonably sized, not massive, but like kind of big enough where you don't really worry about it. It's only starting with 9 tracks, which is kind of disappointing when all the other carts have 10 and the gold Shield Speedster has 11. But if you think about the track selection we have here, almost all the tracks are hero themed tracks. Only maybe Ghost Valley and Waluigi Stadium are kind of villain themed tracks. So it makes sense that a villain cart is not going to have that many tracks. If we have another tour which is like Bowser themed or Koopaling themed or whatever, I would say it would get a lot of buffs. So I wouldn't worry too much about the lack of tracks. So starting with four new tracks. So 4 out of 9 is not a bad percentage. 2 of them are unranked, 1 at level 1 and 1 at level 8. So there's Luigi Circuit T at level 1 and Waluigi Stadium, at level 8. It's got 2 recent tracks, so that's Luigi Raceway R and Luigi Raceway T, and then 3 older tracks. So only 3 out of the 9 are old tracks, 6 out of 9 are quality. So percentage-wise, quite a pretty okay start. I would say this is a good start on par with the Silver Warrior Wagon and Black Shield and Speedster. I would say it's kind of vying for second best start, maybe a tick behind, and there's also the disadvantage that you can't use a week 1 because it's a week 1 ranked reward. But I think it, probably has a pretty promising future. I think if it didn't come out in a tour with all these other great looking, promising carts, we would maybe be a little bit more hyped about it.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of hedging that we do for these.
Tenga is going wild.
Dude, huge shout out to Nitenja, who has just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Nitenja. Appreciate you and the community, and thank you to these. I don't think any of these 5, maybe Leonardo, but I don't think any of these 5 have ever had a membership before. So it's always good to have new members.
That's awesome.
Definitely check out the Discord server. I don't know how they gift these memberships, but sometimes it's like this. People who've gotten them before. It's always just good having fresh faces in the community. A lot of them stick around and they see the value. So thank you again, Nitenja. You're awesome. Good. Yeah, I think the other thing is like we've always kind of hedged these ranked items just because ranked items just don't seem to get as much glory as other items. But man, this is tough. It's going to be incredibly hard to save cart tickets this summer with all these items. So it'll be cool to see how this one goes forward. But ultimately, I think we could see other racer Mark IIs. This is a cool style. We might get other.
Let's get the Wario one coming out soon.
Yeah, just again, it's completely different from everything else. All the other carts we've talked about are goodie carts. I mean, at least when they're stack ranking it, showing up on the app. They're like in the top half, which would be dedicated to good-ish characters, because you were kind of talking about some of these tracks that he has. It's very different from any of the other carts. So technically, you think that like the dark Shield Speedster could get some baddie tracks, but it's technically a goodie. But you see,
I think the Shielded Speedster in general is kind of goes hand in hand with Luigi. They're like Luigi themed cards. So
100%. Now, I do hope that they're listening and give us Waluigi nights. How cool would that be? That would be my dream. Let's get it, Nintendo. All right, let's move into the 2 new gliders. Both of them look sick. I love both of the looks. We got red and we got green. Let's talk about the green emblem glider. What's your thoughts on the starting coverage, Angela?
Yeah, so they both kind of have similar starts. I would say the green emblem has a slightly better start. Starting 5 out of its 10 tracks are new tracks, so that's a pretty solid chunk. One of them being level 8. Fortunately, it's not a rank track there. You do have 2 ranked tracks at level 1 with the Mario Raceway RT and the Luigi Circuit T. So I think it's actually, if you want to gamble on one, and you need some firepower for ranked. So I got 1 track in week 1, 1 track in week 2. This is not a bad one. 5 new tracks, 2 recent tracks in Luigi Raceway RT and Luigi Raceway T at level 6. So only 3 out of the 10 tracks are older tracks. So like pretty good start. And it's got a nice item, that lightning plus there. And the red emblem kind of a similar start. It's slightly less good, which we'll get to in a second. So if I had to choose one, I would say green emblem has got the slightly better start, but I'll let you give your thoughts, then we can get over to the red one.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Actually, I noticed whenever we were doing the reaction that the green got some coverage that I was really struggling on. So I actually kind of prefer the green just from looking at my own coverage. I would have, and then I plugged it into the sheet, and the green one would be better for me. But I think overall, I think they both look good. They both get, like, just like everything else we've talked about, some good starting coverage. But I think green gets my vote. We've had a lot of Luigi fans in our server. I see Matt Ulrich took his up to 8-3. I think it might have been Ronnie or somebody else. We got a lot of Luigi fans, and they've embraced this. I think both of them have phenomenal skills. They both look great. They both get great starting coverage. But I think green gets my vote. What's your thoughts on the green emblem?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's gonna be. Maybe I'm biased towards Luigi items as well. I just like green better than red. But looking at the starting tracks, they have both very similar starts. So, but I would say the green just shades it because it has 1 more new track compared to red.
Perfect. Let's move to the Spotlight Shop now. Since it's Monday. You've seen the Spotlight Shop. You've probably already made a couple quick purchases. Maybe you haven't. Maybe there's just so many new items that you just said, I can't go back into older items, which completely get. I will say when I was showing this, I was having some issues with this pop up on my screen, so didn't get to get full into it. But I think I was just the most excited from the gliders. I think there's just a lot of good gliders in here that you could pick up and insert. I think in a tour where we have so many good carts, I just feel like I just don't see myself getting any of these carts because there's new ones that I could get to cover these tracks. And really, the only time you're getting these things, hypothetically, would be to get them for the first time. So mainly because a coin rush ticket is going to be lower in rubies than spending something here. Now, unless you don't have the tickets, like I did with the gold, with the Black Shield Speedster, that's the only case where you're like, hey, I'm out of rubies, or I'm out of tickets. I'm not going to get any more tickets. But I want to get this to a certain level. And that's a situation where if you're desperate enough, you're going to basically lose 25 rubies in that exchange. But hey, it's 25 rubies worth it to get something up to a high level. And I think that you can only say that for these newer items. For any of the carts, man, I just probably would skip this tour. You've seen a lot of these come back. None of these are like crazy new. I will say that the Taiko drum might be on one that you might have missed out on past tours. It's back now. It's kind of doing pretty well. But really, I mean, honestly, for carts, I would really focus in on the brand new stuff. And then for drivers, I mean, it's tough to get really excited about any drivers any of the weeks just because we have Mii's and we have other stuff going on. But we got Poochie coming back.
150 rubies, which is steep.
150 rubies is super steep. Yeah, I'm with you there. Toad Astronaut's crushing it though. Poochie's kind of coming back pretty new. Everything else I'd probably leave on the table. Nothing else is like you have to get it. But I said the gliders.
Is this the first tour Poochie's been available in the Spotlight Shop?
I believe so, but I'm terrible at keeping track on that. But for me, I mean, it's the gliders, guys. These gliders are really good. I mean, I'd probably say 80% of these are worth getting or having in your account. I mean, there's some that haven't come back in quite some time. We have some of the Yoshi stuff coming back, like the Yoshi cookie and the smiley face. Got the Goomba, the block coming back. We have some other stuff going on. But I mean, overall, I think it's got to be maybe the yellow hard hat. Has to be a really good one that you'd have to go into. Fire Mantis been sneaky as well, man. It's tough. It's tough. I know you're a big fan of the
Fuzzy Kite.
I was gonna say you're a big fan of the Fuzzy Kite. I don't know. We'll get a lot more into that in the top 10, but because it's Monday, you've probably seen a lot of these. We'll keep moving forward, keep the show going, because I know we have. I'll be getting some comments and getting some dono hype, and so I want to try to see if we can stick to our 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. That's what I have at least on my calendar before I got to run. But let's get into drivers with 4 buffs. Right off the bat, we got Poochie, Toad Tourist, Daisy Me Racing Suit, and Light Blue Yoshi. I kind of want to start talking about Poochie and Toad Tourist. These are two of our newest drivers with plus skills. But Poochie has a double feature in ranked, which he's been kind of shaded the last couple tours. This tour, I mean, it's just tough. You're probably not going to want to use him on some of these tracks. I mean, the Mario's Raceway RT and the Luigi Circuit T. They just have some other options there. I would say for Poochie specifically, I just know myself and like what I'm struggling with. That Luigi Circuit T is probably better between the 2 ranked tracks. That one's just tough to cover. Right now, I think for a lot of people, they might be going DK Me Suit, but just remember that that's a temporary buff. That's that, and also I think the Cat Me. Just get that the bump up because it's the first track in a cup. So just be aware of that. Poochie's really kind of the best option there when it comes to a plus skill. There's not really a lot else out there. So just keep that in mind. That's a pretty big win for him. And then for Toad Tourist, his ranked track is that Mario Raceway RT, which is, and the rest of it, he got some fine buffs. I mean, nothing to complain about because they're all 2023 tracks. But man, it just, it's tough when you got a giant banana non-me skill and then you have all these other me's on those tracks. Makes things a little tough. You got the Daisy Me, got the Mario Raceway RT, the ranked track. And then Light Blue Yoshi, he did get a ranked track for the Luigi Raceway, which is a nice little fun surprise when it comes to supers getting buffs. But anything you want to talk about with these 4 drivers?
You want me to do the top 5 most valuable, but let's do those at the end of the drivers because we'll see. No, the only thing I wanted to mention really about the buffs, like honestly, because most of my notes are things that you also mentioned. There are 2 drivers that got 2 new ranked tracks as buffs. Out of all the buffs, we have a ton of buffs this tour, by the way, 443 total buffs, and 318 of those are on the new tracks. That's kind of what happens when you have 12 new tracks in a tour. But no, there's 2 drivers that got 2 ranked buffs. There's Dr. Luigi, who got Luigi Circuit T and Mario Raceway RT, and there's Poochie, who got the same 2 tracks actually. Obviously, the Poochie buffs are more valuable because he's got that Lucky 7 skill. So yeah, Poochie really probably the highest quality in terms of quantity and quality, best buffs this tour.
Yep, Toad Tourist, not bad, but Poochie's been struggling lately, so it's been nice to finally get him thrown a bone.
Good for him. Good for
literally
him.
there. We got drivers with 3 buffs. We'll start with Luigi Knight. He's obviously featured a lot this tour. He gets the Waluigi Stadium T, which can be a tough one to cover as well. So that's a big buff for him. It's I'd say it's actually a pretty good boombox track when you think about how many coins are on the course. That part's a plus, but I think overall, like you might be struggling because there's PD Gold is on that second shelf. You got I think that's it. It's the only Coinbox driver that's set on that track in that second shelf.
Luigi Knight is on the second shelf. So he might show, even though we can't race him, he might show up as a bot. And the question block, right. Blockhead is on there too, but they don't show up very often. These suits don't really show up that often.
Yeah. So you get two Coinbox drivers there, but really, I mean, that's a really good track for him. Obviously, Gold Charging Chuck has that track, but if you're looking at Mies, there's not a lot of options. So it is kind of like very uniquely shaped for the non-Mies. And when they kind of box out the Mies, like that's actually a pretty good track for him. I think you'll have a lot of fun. Certainly, you could get over 200 actions on that track with him. Who knows? You can get a double boombox, and man, I could see some crazy runs on that track for boombox. Then we move to Pokey Me, which is surprisingly number 19 on our list, behind Prawn Plant Me Suit. Both with one ranked track, both being Waluigi Stadium, which we just referred to there. Obviously, those and the Waluigi Me being some of the only options there for Mii's on that track. But again, you're looking at not plus skills. I know some have gone into Pokeme and have been enjoying the triple bananas. For me, it's not compelling enough. But we got Luigi Chef, as we're talking about triple bananas, gets the Mario Raceway RT ranked track. Morton Me, I was very sad both with Morton, and with Larry, and how much little that they were used in ranked this tour. I mean, they're brand new Me suits with plus skills. Mm-hmm. I invested in both of them, both to level 8. So I was very sad to not see them incorporated. It's almost like they were forgotten. And this is kind of a point that you and I kind of talked about pre-show, was that I do feel, we saw this a lot a couple years ago, but we see like different seasons where Nintendo kind of has like this kind of like buffing season and things are kind of clumped together season. I do feel like this tour is like the first tour of a new season. And so,
the last two tours, this tour and the last one was a Peach and Daisy tour, and this one is a Mario Luigi tour. So it's going to be focused on buffing the heroes again. I think, we're going to need to see a more villain themed tour before some of those type of items will get more buffs.
Yeah, good point there. So that's kind of the rest of the drivers with 3 buffs. Want to get your opinion on the rest of these?
Yeah, no, I just want to address one point in the chat. Luigi Knight's there with 34 assumed tracks. He does have 34 assumed tracks. In our model, a while back, we decided to include the Nitro tracks as well with the assumed tracks, just because they do reappear a lot more often than cities do. So we separated cities. We made that change to the model where they don't get the new track bonus. So they're worth less than regular retros when they're new, but they do count as assumed tracks. So if you exclude the Nitros, yeah, he's got 30 assumed tracks, but including the Nitros, he does have 34 tracks. Other than that, no, I don't have anything to add to your points. I think you more or less covered it. I don't think there's anything that you didn't say that I wanted to say.
Cool. Well, this is a good time to give a nice plug to Larry98, who obviously has done a lot to support our channel. He's a big super stud member, but he also came out with a new beta version of his spreadsheet. And one of the newest features is the fact that he's lumped the Nitro tracks in with the rest of the assumed tracks, and cities are kept separate. So it's no longer Nitros versus assumed. It's now assumed versus cities. Kind of the way, it's kind of how we talk about the buffs anyway. But you'll also see that reflected in the top 10. And it's officially part of Larry's sheet. So shout out to Larry98 and thank you for all the hard work you do. Let's get into the drivers with 2 buffs. Very, very, if you notice here, the first 4 are definitely very unique to the community, as they are all Coinbox drivers that have been released in the last 9 months or so, and they're all non-Miis. And so you got Gold Charging Chuck, who has had an absolute tear. If it wasn't for this gold Mii suit having basically the best buffing cycle of any item in any part of this game, we'd be talking about Gold Charging Chuck as a dominant item in the game, because he has been dominant. It just hasn't been as dominant as this gold Mii. So obviously he gets a very efficient buffing here with the Waluigi Stadium. We already talked about this being a Coinbox exclusive for him, and a really, really good track. So big win for Gold Charging Chuck. The rich get richer. We got Daisy Tie Dress, who
somehow has 52 tracks. What the hell?
Yeah, man. You got Daisy Tie Dress also, who has had a very unique buffing cycle. It seems like she just never got ranked tracks, but she would get exclusives. And here she is, getting some decent tracks, but not in ranked. That's kind of been her mojo, man. And as long as she keeps those exclusives,
ACR champion.
As long as she keeps those exclusives, and as long as she keeps like getting these good buffs that aren't ranked, she'll keep being sustainable. But right now,
can I just repeat? She has 52 tracks.
That's crazy.
Total tracks.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's like, this is the new generation of the game. Is just like things are. We're gonna get to a point one day, maybe next year, where things have 100 tracks or something. I don't know. It's pretty insane to think about it, man. We do have Larry Wintertime. But again, it's tough, guys. You got Gold Charging Chuck getting a rank track. You got Mario King getting a rank track for the Mario Raceway RT, which is a great buff for him. But I mean, Daisy Tie Dress, Larry Wintertime, Morton Me, Larry Me. It's like these guys aren't getting any tracks, which is really, really strange. It's almost like they're going out of the way. And that's kind of why I've felt this tour is like the start of a new season. We're getting like, I don't know. To me, this is probably one of the, when you think about both weeks in ranked, probably the hardest top shelves. I mean, they're giving King Mario exclusive. If you don't have them, you're screwed. You know, they're giving, you know, here's this gold charging Chuck, you know, a ranked exclusive for Coinbox, and if you don't have them, you're screwed. And if you, you know, it's like you literally have to have all these items at a high level to be successful for both weeks, and it's just really tough to do unless you're a whale. So my condolences for those of you who are feeling the burn. But what's your thoughts on these drivers?
Yeah, no, like, one thing I mentioned earlier, Dr. Luigi, only got 2 buffs, but man, are they good buffs. Luigi Circuit T and Mario Raceway RT, both in ranked. If you, I mean, I'm not saying you should invest in them right now, but if you have them at a high level and you don't have another better option on those tracks, you're probably pretty happy about that. Other than that, yeah, no, not too much to mention. I'll let you go through the next slide, and then we can talk about the top 5 buffs this tour.
Yeah, so there's like 2 people in the community who are like jumping up for joy for investing into Dr. Luigi. Let's get into the rest of the drivers. Obviously, the top of that list, the Mr. Efficient Gold Me Racing Suit gets the Mario Raceway, which is just an insane buff for the #1 driver in the year. It's hands down him. And then you got PD Piranha Me Racing Suit, got the Waluigi Stadium not in ranked, and he overlaps with the gold version of himself. Both of these not in ranked, but I mean these are good buffs. Just you want them in ranked, and it's unfortunate. It is what it is. I mean, you got gold PD Piranha. He's got 33 assumed tracks, 10 cities, number 5 on our list, but he hasn't been in. I think he's been ranked like maybe one time in the last like 5 or 6 weeks. So it's unfortunate for our guy, but it is what it is, man. I mean, hopefully Waluigi Stadium comes back and you get the option between. Look at all these guys. This is a lot of drivers here with this Waluigi Stadium. You also got the yellow Me suit, the PD Piranha. You got a couple other options, even the Bowser Me suit. Like these are all ones that you get Waluigi Stadium. They get 1 buff, and it's obviously not a ranked track, so makes things tough there. White Tanuki Mario does get the Mario Raceway, which is a ranked track, but obviously it's tough because it overlaps with the gold Me suit, so it's kind of double-edged sword there. And then Toad Astronaut gets a good buff there. The Mario Raceway RT, he just keeps getting like 1, maybe 2 buffs every tour. One of them's in ranked, one of them's really tough to cover, but there he is, Toad Astronaut, having a great year. Definitely don't want to forget about him. Santa Me suit not getting a good buff. Yoshi, again, I feel bad saying not a good buff, but it's just so tough because we have
not a bad buff, but yeah.
Think about it. We have 12 new tracks. When you think about the 3 new tracks, each have 4 variants, so it's just so tough. I mean,
even if you get 1 new track, it's not a ranked track. It's like, yeah, okay, but you know, could have been better.
1 out of 12, man. It's interesting. We got Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer. Got the Waluigi Stadium T, which is a good buff for him.
Yeah, that's a good buff. I'm actually going to be using him on that track, I think.
I mean, I think I have him at level 2, so that's like my best option. So right now, no, actually, you know what? I think I do have Toad, Builder Toad, I think is who I have on that track at level 5. So that's what I'm rocking with unless I throw some tickets at Waluigi Me. But yeah, so I think that really kind of rounds things out. You did get Mario Samurai, got the Mario Raceway, which is a pretty decent buff for him. Obviously,
yeah, it's a good one. It's a good boomerang track as well,
for sure.
The interesting thing about that one is like if you'll get like 3-4 Coinbox spots every single race. The way that the mid shelves are set up there, it should be super easy to boombox.
Yeah, good shout out, or good call out here from the G Siegel, who mentions how Santa Me, that buff there that he has, the Mario Raceway T, is the only plus skill, is what he says. So that's good for me. That's a great buff for him, considering it's not ranked. And then we got, I think that's it. I think that's all I want to talk about for these drivers. Anything you want to add?
No. I think we covered it. Yeah. No. So the top 5 buffs this tour, the #1 most valuable buff is actually, according to the model anyways, is Mario King's buff on Mario Raceway RT. This is a Coinbox exclusive. However, there are other plus skill options, including Toad Astronaut Boomerang, so it's up to you whether you want to use him. The second most valuable buff is Luigi Gold Knight's buff on Luigi Circuit T, which is again a bit of false advertising since you can actually use him there. The third most valuable buff, Charging Chuck Gold on Waluigi Stadium T. That is a Coinbox exclusive. And finally, Gold Me Racing Suit on Mario Raceway N. A little bit of a less...
there are a lot of options, but it's a very clear. Here's a clear choice on that track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just in the model, it's not quite as valuable because it's not an RT. It's shorter, so it doesn't have many actions. But I mean, still, like it's an Coinbox exclusive for me Coinbox or so. So that's great.
Yeah.
And then tied for fifth, there's like 8 Karts. Mario Raceway RT is the most valuable buff this tour due to the length, the paywall, how paywalled it is, and the fact that it's an RT. We see RTs appearing more often in ACR and in ranked. So that's like Jumbo Jetter, Green Lighting, Pink B-Dasher Mark II, Pink Speeder, Sakura Sports Cups, Silver Warrior Wagon, and Sweet Ride. So yeah, those are the top 5. Well, more like top 13 because there's a big 8-way tie for 5th, but those are the most valuable buffs this tour.
Yeah, Crested Peak and Hero the Skies stole my thunder here. The Mario Raceway RTs are so tough with Coinbox. I saw Sammy had a phenomenal run just now on his stream, but it was like a double Coinbox coin. It was an absolutely insane combination of frenzies, but it is so difficult for Coinbox. I'm using
Boomerang all the way on that one.
Boomerang's a little tough, but Coinbox is nearly impossible. There's no like one good area to maybe get a single box where you can kind of land.
Every single top skill represented on this track, which is nice. You got Lucky 7 with Poochie and Giant Banana with Tourist Toad.
Yeah, no, I mean that is fine. Man, I just feel like if you're gonna they gave us 3 Coinbox tracks in the first week of ranked. And it is night and day, trying to grind the other tracks compared to that RT track, because literally you can't set up. I mean, you kind of were talking about how this Mario Raceway does not have as many actions you can get, but I would take that any day over this RT track when it comes to Coinbox and trying to get as many coins as possible. There's so many, man. It's actually a really fun Coinbox track. There's sometimes where you get like 30 coins, 33 coins from a good Coinbox, man, and especially if you're on Team Luigi using this Gold Me, man, it's absolutely insane. Which, by the way, what team are you as we transition to Karts? What team?
Sorry?
What team are you?
Oh, I'm Team Luigi. I don't think I've ever been Team Mario. I've been Team Luigi on every single tour, even though I know he's going to live.
Good. You know, actually, we had more drivers with 1 buff, but I'm not going to talk about any of them. There's just so many. I'm looking at this list.
443 buffs this tour. We had 153 drivers buffs, and like 114 of them are on those 12 new tracks. Like, there's not that many buffs on old tracks.
That is true. I will say Mario Sunshine does get the Mario Raceway. Again, we kind of talked about Gold Me, but if you're at tier 79 and you're been playing for a while, that might be a nice fun option for you. But yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Alberto. He put all the time to get all these together, but there's nothing really exciting about these. I mean, that's what's so tough, is that there's so many buffs, but there's also so many items, and they kind of just gave 1 buff to everybody for the most part.
They've been doing that a lot. Or just really giving a lot of buff, but really spreading it around, so you can't just take 1 or 2 items and destroy ranked.
I'm with you there. Let's get to cards with 4 buffs. We'll start with this Tycho Drum Dasher. It does get the Waluigi Stadium T. Pretty decent track there for him. We got the Jumbo Jetter. Got the Mario Raceway RT. He did get the 1 dud, which was the Mario Circuit 2R, compared to Tycho Drum, which all 2023 tracks. Black Jingle Bell. It does get 4 buffs, but none in ranked. Silver's Cupid, for those who had invested, I'm thinking about Avi Quado. The Silver Cupid's Arrow, many invested in it last tour, got excited about it. You did get 1 ranked track, and it wasn't even a new track. It was just the Luigi Raceway from last year. But that does get two 2023 tracks, but neither one in ranked, and then does get an old Ghost Valley. So I would say Silver Cupid Zero, probably a B minus this tour when it comes to the buffing. I mean, yeah, you got one ranked track in there, but I think you were hoping for more. It's just tough with so many new carts. We got Red Comet, nothing there new from this tour. I think Kareem, sorry, I feel bad. You donated, you gifted us all those, and I think this is one of your favorite carts. It's not in ranked. Pink Comet, who I invested in, I kind of got a little trigger happy with sitting with all these. Again, this it's so weird. Is this whole year there was never really a cart that I got excited about. I hadn't invested at all in any new cart that was released in 2023 until this Pink Comet, and I got so excited. I was like, oh, it's pink. It's got a big hitbox. Gives me 8 tracks. But I kind of wish I would have held out one more tour, 2 more tours, whatever it might be, to invest in it and all these items this tour, because this tour is where it's at. I will say this Mario Circuit T, it's obviously the ranked track. It's actually not a great buff in my opinion. There's a lot of other options like Lightning McQueen and Sakura Hop Rod and some other options on this track that for me it wasn't as exciting. And then obviously gets 2 2029 tracks. So C plus maybe in the buffing for the Pink Comet for those who care. Gold's Cupid Arrow, I think a lot more people might have been focused on that. Does get the Mario Circuit T, decent buff there. Does get a 2019 track. Got Silver Flower Cart, the Mario Raceway, the Mach 8R. We're kind of curious how this one would pan out. Unfortunately, nothing in ranked. It does get 2 older tracks. Cream Classic does get the Mario Circuit T. And but overall not bad. The Mario Circuit 1 is not so great. And then Gold Comet, Gold Painter, Light Blue Yoshi, and then Red Turbo Yoshi. So sorry, Turbo Birdo. What's your thoughts on these carts with the most buffs?
Yeah, I think the Taiko Drum Dasher like a pretty awesome set of buffs here. 4 buffs, and catapulted up into the top 5. That's doing really well. But it's interesting. Like we don't have a lot of like superstars here. The Jumbo Jetter, I kind of expected the Jumbo Jetter to be doing better than it is, but maybe that's just it was an all city start, wasn't it? Yeah, so that's maybe why it's lagging a little bit behind. But nothing really sticks out here where I'm like, oh, these are an amazing set of buffs. Like I was talking about the drivers, there were only 2 drivers that got buffed with 2 ranked tracks. 0 carts got more than 1 ranked buff.
It's all about the new carts, guys. New carts. Move over.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm most excited about the new carts. We had 150 buffs for carts. 101 of them are on the new tracks. But honestly, like, if I'm looking at spending some tickets, I'm kind of thinking about going into those newer items.
That's why
some of these top shelves for these ranked tracks are looking pretty blah for this selection,
Yeah, well, I thought we were going to see a lot of bleed over coming to the Cupid's Arrow. I thought that they would be getting some really good buffs, but again, it's kind of like a break of a new season. I just feel like it, man. Like we got all these, I'm looking at some of those new Miis, Morton, Larry, nothing. They get absolutely nothing good. Got these Cupid's Arrows. We thought they would carry over. Really nothing really good here. I mean, yeah, you got Mario Circuit T, you got Luigi Raceway. It's fine, but you were hoping for more. I feel like there's definitely a hard break between last tour and this tour. Let's get to the carts with 3 buffs and start on the 2s. So we got Blue Crawly Cart. Does get the Yoshi Circuit T, but then also gets 2 tracks from 2019, both Ghost Valley. So you're really happy with the Luigi Circuit T, and that's actually a pretty tough track to cover. But I'd say this is not a good. Now, again, you could have been struggling with these Ghost Valleys, and maybe it's good for your account, but I consider this not great in the way of buffing.
You are being very, very, very nice there.
I'm trying to, man, because I feel like I've been dogging the Blue Crawly Cart for a while, man. And but here it is, it's number 2 on our list, so I can't fight that. So I have to kind of keep a little tongue in cheek.
Pretty new and already has 30 tracks, which is a huge amount for a cart. So
and only 3 cities.
Well deserved that it's number 2.
Yeah, only 3 cities. That's actually really good for a new item like that. Yeah, let's keep going. Obviously the Sakura Sports Coupe getting the Mario Circuit RRT. Bright Girl getting a big Womp Womp alongside Gold Hop Rod and Huff and Puff and Egg. Oh, sorry, no, Huff and Puff and Egg does get the Mario Raceway. So at least you get something walking away there. Dry Bones Dasher just absolutely gets dog garbage here. It does get the Luigi Circuit T, but 2 ghost values, similar to the Blue Crawley Kart. It's got the small hitbox, came and save it out of the way. So it's tough. It's tough. That's what we're going to talk about for the carts with 3 buffs. We'll move to carts with 2. Mumu Off-Roader, 2 buffs, nothing in ranked. And unfortunately, man, this bike, I feel so bad for the Mumu Off-Roader. Many of us invested in it really early. It's been pretty lackluster these last few tours. It's been slim
kind of
pickings.
like the Ty Daisy of carts. It's been around. It's getting a ton of tracks, just not been ranked that much.
Yeah, I mean, Waluigi Stadium is a tough one to cover, and Mario Raceway T is pretty good too. I think for those who are doing all cup ranking, Mumu Off Roader is pretty good. But if you're hoping to win some ranked with it, man, it's just super tough. So I mean, I've been using it still in all cup ranking. Like I've been pretty content with my Mumu Off Roader. But I just feel bad for those who were like, oh man, this is like the next coming of like amazingness, and it just hasn't panned out for ranked users. But again, you know, you kind of look at some of these other options. The Gold Bruiser's had a great year so far, and now Gold Luna Cruiser is starting to be one of those a few exceptions on the Gold spectrum. And then this Rainbow Pipe Buggy. It's been really sneaky here lately. Got the Waluigi Stadium T. A really tough track to cover for carts. Mm-hmm. So overall, I mean, I think some people have been talking about this Rainbow Pipe Buggy as being like a sneaky sleeper for the year. We didn't really talk too much about it when it first came out, and it's been kind of just getting like maybe 1 or 2 buffs, 1 in ranked. But we'll see how things go in the future. But if you have to invest in something and you don't like any of the new items for whatever reason, not a bad one. It's got a pretty decent hitbox.
And the other options on Waluigi Stadium T are pretty dog water. If I'm honest, there's Tycho Drum Dasher and there's the new Black Shield Speedster. But other than that, it is a bad list.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this is the main track that I was like, oh man, for the Black Shield Speedster, this would be a huge win because I think it's an awesome track for him. And one of the reasons why I would want to kind of split my tickets between these 2 shielded speedsters. Absolutely love it. Yeah. Good. All right, so I've been trying to keep my eye on the chat. Let's move to carts with 3 buffs to part 2. It looks like almost each one except for the Gold Quickshot guy, a ranked track, but again, none of these are really too fantastical just because of how small they are. But then we have carts with 1 buff. Blazing Eagle did get the Luigi Circuit R, which is a pretty good track for it. However, it's not in ranked. So for those who are kind of banking on the ranked option, it's not there. Pink Speeder has had
time in a while. Blazing Eagle hasn't just gotten some fucking awesome buffs. Like it's like the first kind of mediocre buff, which is a while because it's been out for a while. It's not that new of a card anymore.
Yeah, I think it's actually the same track, same tour as King Mario. So it's,
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it obviously had 2 different trajectories. That's for sure. We got the Pink Speeder, which has been crushing it lately. Got the Mario Raceway RT. Kami Tanuki Kart got Luigi Circuit RT, not in ranked. Blooper Shuttle got the Luigi Circuit, not in ranked. The original Shield Speedster got, look at this, guys, Luigi Circuit T. Obviously, you're happy to see
Shielded Speedster has been, I think, in the top 10 every single tour since at the 3rd tour that it was out. It's got one of the longest runs in the top 10. It's crazy.
That is crazy, man. Rainbow Streetle. Again, none of these looks like actually a lot of these 1 buff options are not in ranked. Just like this is kind of what we were talking about with drivers. You kind of just spread out all these buffs, just giving everything 1 buff, and not a lot in ranked. I mean, again, Shield Speedster 1 there, Pink Speedster, Goo Black, and that's it. Moving on to
Shield Speedster got Luigi Circuit T, which is in ranked, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But Matt, you said most of them don't.
Yeah, most of them don't. I get 3 out of like 30 there, so it's just tough there. And then part 2, I'm gonna kind of glaze over these just because we've got some other stuff to talk about. Warrior Wagon does get the Mario Raceway, big win for it. Now I know some people have been really excited about the hot rod. I've never been a big fan. It does get this Luigi Circuit T, which as we kind of talked about being a pretty good buff for it. I don't know. I'm not excited about the hitbox. It's not small, but in my opinion, it's got
a really weird hitbox. It's like pretty wide, but very, very short. One of the shortest carts in the game. But not exceptional in terms of coverage. It is a really good buff Luigi Circuit T, but it's sharing it with Blue Crawley and Shielded Speedster. So which one are you going to invest in? I don't know.
Yeah, still gonna err on the side of the larger hitbox.
Yeah.
Good guys, let's move into gliders. Let's got the glittering glider, the only one with 5 buffs. However, only 2 are really that useful. The Mario Circuit T is in ranked, and the Waluigi Stadium, but 3 of them are older tracks. So this is one that I got kind of excited about last tour. I think I took the 6,495, and it stayed there. It stayed there, man. I'm definitely not investing in it further until I see more than this. Now, again, this is an option where you got a lot of quantity, low quality, except for that Mario Circuit T. So there you go.
Yeah, the original glinting glider was a very good glider. It was one of the first, I think, commemorative items that was actually like really high quality. I mean, it's obviously fallen off, but in its day, it was one of the better gliders. So that gives me a little bit of hope with the glittering glider, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm trying to remember. Was that that come in a special pipe?
No, I think it was a commemorative.
Okay,
like a non-ruby banner. Like $4 or $5 banner, whatever it costs.
Yeah, man, for sure. Let's get to the gliders with 4 buffs. Yoshi's Cookie got the Mario Circuit T. Smiley Flower Glider got the Mario Raceway. Gold Manta Glider got the Luigi Raceway. Golden Glider got the Waluigi Stadium T. Pink Checker Glider got the Luigi Circuit T. And then Kareem's Red Checker Glider got the Mario Raceway RT. Got the gold origami glider. Got nothing in ranked, and also got 2 2019 tracks, which is tough. Some super. So those who were hoping for more from the gold origami glider, this is probably a D-. When you see 4 buffs, you get excited, and then you see which ones, like womp womp. Green checker glider got the Luigi Circuit T. So it's nice that they've kind of given each one of these checker gliders a ranked track. But I'm not excited about really any of them. I want to get excited about pink just because I like pink things, and I'm still not bought in yet. We got gold bells with nothing in ranked either. What's your thoughts with the top gliders?
Underwhelming. The problem is we got 5 of these checkered gliders at the same time. We've got so many, they got all blurring together in my head. I need to wait for a while. You see, none of these are really. 18 tracks is all right, but it's not that many. We need to, when the top gliders are having like 35 tracks, we need to just give all of these more time and let them develop. 4 buffs is great, but nothing here is convincing me to invest in any of them yet.
Okay. So just some general housekeeping. Alberto, good call out there. King Mario was released in the Anniversary Tour. Blazing Eagle was released in the Autumn Tour. Just to make things clear.
Whatever, one All City Tours is good enough.
All City Tours are all City Tours. They're all forgettable. Let's go with gliders with 3 buffs. Bright Balloons, Gold Boo Masks, Gold Umbrella, Roy Oil Paper, Gold Tulips, and the Gold Checker Glider. All those, what do they all have in common? Nothing in ranked. That's right. All these gliders with 3 buffs got nothing in ranked. Some worse than others. This gold boom mask's terrible. Look at this. 2 Ghost Valleys. Just get the Luigi Circuit R. But, man, it's really just it's kind of tough. Even the gold checker glider got Mario Circuit 1R. Not necessarily great. Let's go to gliders with 2 buffs because I know you don't have anything to say about that. Let's go with Autumn Leaves. Got the Mario Raceway RT. Wonderful Diamond. Oh, man. So many people have been riding this Wonderful Diamond. Does get 2 Luigi Circuits. Which is good, but it's not. You're gonna have to wait a couple tours to use it in ranked. Calico Toe Beam Balloons. This one's actually been really, really sneaky. It's one of the highest level 7 gliders in my account. In fact, same with Kareem. Both of them are in our top 20 gliders in our own personal ranking using the Antilev tracker, and it's been really, really good. It has some really, really good coverage. It is on Waluigi Stadium T. So we kind of talked about if you want to throw some tickets or want to throw some rubies to get something out of your spotlight shop in the way of gliders, Calico Toe Beam Balloons might be a decent option for your account, worth looking into. Nabbit Parachute got the Mario Raceway, and then I'll kind of finish out these gliders with 2 buffs. Obviously, we got a lot of buffs this tour, so a lot of over going in, kind of overflow into other slides. It's just unfortunate the way that works, but it is what it is. Black Star Shoot got the Waluigi Circuit and Waluigi Stadium. Sakura Origami Glider, an oldie but goodie, got the Waluigi Stadium T. Saved me on that track. Mario's Hot Balloon. Nothing in ranked, but at least it didn't get 2019. That was my fear, is that the Mario's Hat Balloon would get 2019 tracks, just like some Mario Circuit 2s or something. But actually not bad considering. 8-Bit Goomba has had some ups and downs. I think both of the 8-Bit items, both the Goomba and the commemorative items, the Goomba and the block, have actually redeemed themselves slightly this tour. This Luigi Circuit T is a pretty good one for the 8-Bit Goomba. Luigi's Hat Balloon got the Luigi Circuit T, and Parapanini got the Mario Raceway, and Silver's Candlelight Flight got the Waluigi Stadium T, and Stealth Glider got the Luigi Circuit T. So when looking at the gliders with 2 buffs, anything you want to add there?
This is where the quality is. If you look back at the last slide, like almost all the top 10 is here. So looking at these, a couple of ranked buffs, a couple of non-ranked buffs, but yeah, this is where you're looking at the sort of rich get richer type of thing. Yeah, no, nothing special to mention, but it's nice to see those top 10 items getting some pretty solid buffs still.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing is, like, kind of called it out in the chat a little bit, just about, we have so many carts that, yeah, Nap mentions this. We have so many carts that it's like, it takes everything in something's power to get into the top 10. Whereas for gliders, like, you know, you have to do just pretty well, and you can do pretty well. You know, 8-Bit Goomba has been, you know, comparatively decent, but hasn't been like overwhelmingly crazy. And look at it, it's like number 13 on our list. So all you need to do is have some pretty good exclusive type tracks, and you'll do pretty well as a glider. But you're going to need everything in your power to do well as a kart. To round things out, we got the rest of the gliders with 1 buff, including the yellow hard hat. Unfortunately, as we kind of talked about, kind of a new season here. I wonder how it'll move forward. Does not have a ranked buff, but a pretty decent Mario Raceway T. Wonderful Garnet, unlike his other gem brother, did get a nice rank track here with Mario Raceway RT. The gold hard hat balloon, Waluigi Stadium RT, as a new buff, but it is in ranked, which is kind of nice there. I took it to triple, made a lot of sense. In fact, my top 20 items when looking at my gliders, and actually I'll probably have to quad cap. It makes a lot of sense. So we'll see. We've definitely seen a tale of 2 halves when it comes to this gold hard hat. Right now, it's been doing pretty well. This tour, obviously, it's in ranked, but this buff, you know, could have been better, could have been worse. I mean, you're happy it's a new buff, and it just got 1. But overall, I think it's finally moving. It's been moving in the right direction here as of late. 8-Bit Super Glider does get this Mario Raceway. 8-Bit Block Glider, great buff here with this Mario Raceway RT. Record Setter got the Luigi Circuit RT, which is a nice buff for an old, pretty good item. Lava Rocks, it's been in our top 10. It's outside right now, but got a nice buff here with Waluigi Stadium T. And then your Fuzzy Kites, which I've never been a huge fan of, got Luigi Circuit RT. Not a bad track, but not in ranked. Moving to page 2 of the 1 buff gliders. Not a lot to talk about. The 8-bit, gold 8-bit glider got the Waluigi Stadium T. You got the Cream Toe Beam balloons with Mario Raceway RT. And Tropical Balloons. That's actually been a pretty strong meta one. A lot of people invested in it. Got the Luigi Circuit T, which is a great ranked track there. Flyberry Book got Mario Raceway. Chocolate Pretzel got the Waluigi Stadium T. Origami Glider got the Mario Raceway. And Vanilla and Chocolate Balloons got the Mario Raceway. That's probably where I'll cut the line off. What's your thoughts on the gliders with 1 buff?
Minion Paper Glider ranked buff. They got a normal glider that got a ranked track. I think I haven't seen that maybe ever. That's a cool one. Green Sprout got a rank buff too. I haven't heard that name in a while. It's pretty cool. Yeah, no, nothing else to mention. I mean, like I said, again, same story. 140 buffs for gliders this tour. 103 of them coming on new retro tracks. Only 37 on the returning tracks. And once again, no single glider got 2 ranked buffs. So, as you said, they're really spreading it around. They're trying to make it difficult. One thing in total on these glider buffs, I'm interested how these 8-bit gliders that came out recently, a bunch of them that came out the same tour, all seem to be doing really, really well. And one of the safest bets over the entire life of Mario Kart Tour has been investing in 8-bit gliders. So we were kind of like, hey, which one of these is going to be good? Oh, well, maybe they'll just all be good. I don't know. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty funny. And that makes a good point. The Silver Star Shoe got a great buff there on the Raceway, Mario Raceway, and it was a track that I wouldn't have had a great option, except for that one is one of my favorite gliders in the game. So definitely came in clutch there. I have to ask you though, how are you feeling about your fuzzy kite?
It's it hasn't been like spectacular, but I've used it a lot in ranked. Like on my main account, it doesn't stand out that much because I have I have a lot of gliders. Very rare. I don't have a good glider for a track, but on my free to play account, it's been a huge help. So I'm not regretting the investment at all.
Okay.
It's you know what it kind of reminds me of? The Fire Manta. Like I invested in it and it never was a superstar, but it was like just so solid and like once every tour at least I used it in ranked for a very long time. It's one of those. It's around. It has longevity. I'm happy with it.
I'm with you there, man. Let's move into our top 10. Any change? I don't think there's been any changes to the algorithm, but yeah, huge shout out to Larry98 who's automated it. So I think the goal will be going forward, potentially even to have the rundown sooner than we've been having it. So I think Antilev and I will have to work out our schedule, but I think we could even be having the rundown as soon as maybe even Thursday or Friday. So we'll see how things go. But huge shout out to Larry98 who's helped automate the algorithm, and appreciate all the hard work behind the scenes. It took I had to take like one step back to take 2 steps forward. So we're moving in the right direction. But let's get into our top 10. Every time we're talking about the first item, I want to walk through the slide, how it's set up, so that someone who's new, who's watching the rundown, has some better ideas of what all this information means. Larry Wintertime, though, we start from 10 all the way to 1 for drivers, same thing to karts and gliders. But what we do is highlight some information about these drivers. As you're looking at investing, I always recommend looking at some type of tracker, some type of spreadsheet. Antilev's is the one that I use, but we also have the BAM and GURBS, the MKD Ben. There's a lot of other options out there, so feel free to take a look at that. These are some snapshots, though. This will give you some good understanding of kind of where, in this case, Larry Wintertime is doing so far this year. He has 31 assumed tracks, 13 Nitro. He has 15 tracks left to see. So the way that Alberto, if you're still out there, let me know if this is not correct, but I believe instead of Nitro, this is representing 13 cities. Please let me know if I'm not wrong. I think that was the goal to have on this slide, is assumed tracks and cities and having them broken up the same way as the buffs, and that's the way that I think Larry was trying to do it on his sheet here. But everything that says assumed, these are tracks that we really want to focus on getting good coverage on. The reason being is that we're assuming that they'll come back again and again and again, whereas a city track, once they come out with a city track, the odds of it coming back and being in ranked, and it's going to be really, really tough, because they're coming out with new cities when they come back and go back to another city, and you have one chance of one track coming back for ranked. And we just, in general, the community doesn't invest as much into cities. Things with heavy city coverage, we just know they're kind of unfortunately not going to use as often. Whereas the assumed tracks, you might see these tracks 2 or 3 times this year. And so as you're looking down there, those numbers are really important. Also, 15 tracks left to see means that once a driver, kart, or glider see a track for the first time, they either get it or they don't for their entire life cycle. So this is a number that we're always keeping track of, because in a tie where we're looking at 2 different items, we might want to pick the newer of the 2, or the one that has the most amount of tracks left to see. Then for the pairings, this is thanks to our Turtle Dudes coverage optimizer, where you can plug in Larry Wintertime and say, I want to see what other 3 drivers that would complement Larry that between the 4 of them would cover the highest number of tracks. And so from that perspective, Larry Wintertime would pair really well with Mario Samurai, Gold Charging Chuck, and White Tanuki Mario. The 4 of these drivers together would cover 116 of the 316 tracks. So again, you got basically a third of the tracks that are in the game could be covered by 4 drivers, and all 4 of these are plus skills. So that's phenomenal. That's always really important to just kind of think about for your account. On the flip side, overlap. These are drivers that if you've invested really heavily in, you may not want to invest until Larry Wintertime. It's up to you. Again, I highly recommend you looking at a tracker, but it's always like taking with a grain of salt, because these are just numbers. Not all tracks are created equal, but Chef Rosalina and Larry Wintertime have 6 tracks that overlap with each other. They share 6 tracks of those 31 assumed tracks, 13 Nitro, etc. So I think that's really important to kind of take note of. Now, she is a driver that you may, again, Giant Banana, unless you're a part of the Banana Republic, you might want to go with a Coinbox driver on those. So it's not as important. But, when looking at Daisy Tie Dress, Gold PD Piranha, even regular PD Piranha covering 5 times, that could be a little more tough. So on the right, you see all of his tracks, and you see just the top skills on those tracks. So what you really want to see, a good driver in general will have a very narrow top shelf overlap, meaning that for Larry Wintertime, he actually has a good number of these. Like if you see, say, Baby Park, there's just Daisy Tie Dress. I'm sorry, Hollow Daisy and PD Piranha Me. So again, you also have Frappe Snowland, which is an older track, but at this point in time, it just has PD Piranha Gold and Shy Guy Ninja as a top skill. So, I think the best options there for him would be the Bowser's Castle 1RT, which just has Gold Charging Chuck. Now, the thing is, he's got a smaller hitbox, so you're going to want to use Gold Charging Chuck in a situation, or any Coinbox driver with a larger hitbox. So, again, not all things are created equal, so take it with a grain of salt. Highly recommend you looking at a spreadsheet. But that's our number 10 driver. Let's move to number 9, Yellow Me Racing Suit, 19 assumed tracks, 14 Nitro, 7 tracks left to see. He was at the spot last tour, so no change there. Still a really strong driver with Giant Banana. Obviously, with the Me base points just crushing right now. Some top skill pairings would be Mario Samurai, Gold Charging Chuck, and White Tanuki Mario. And if you flipped out Daisy Tie Dress for Gold Charging Chuck, these 2 pairings would cover 108 of the 316 tracks. Does overlap 4 times with Toad Astronaut and 3 times with Daisy Tie Dress. Number 8, we have Toad Astronaut, 28 assumed tracks, 11 Nitro, 30 tracks left to see. A good pairing with Toad Astronaut would be Daisy Tie Dress, Gold Charging Chuck, White Tanuki Mario. You've seen a lot of White Tanuki Mario and Gold Charging Chuck together on these pairings so far. Does overlap 5 times already with the other Toad variant, the Toad Tourist, and then some older drivers there with Peach Happy and Dry Bones Gold. But 4 tracks when you're thinking about how many tracks Toad Astronaut has. I don't think overlap is a big issue for Toad Astronaut in general. So just kind of keep that with a grain of salt. All right, so also Alberto says Nitros are City plus Nitros. Nitros have not been combined with assumed yet. Maybe in the new version of this sheet. So there we go, something to look forward to. But in this case, Nitro means the Nitro tracks plus City tracks. Makes sense. I think eventually we would want to keep some consistency, keeping the cities separate from the assumed. But we're getting there. It's definitely not Alberto's fault. It's on me. So I'll take certainly full credit on that. White Tanuki Mario, 33 assumed tracks, 17 Nitro, 4 tracks left to see. So this is actually a really great pairing. He, alongside Mario Samurai, Gold Charging Chuck, and Daisy Tie Dress, covers a whopping 123 of the 316 tracks. We're coming up on basically half the tracks, very close upon. So really good there. I will say, though, if you are going all in on Giant Banana, like the Banana Republic, unfortunately, there's another Giant Banana driver that overlaps with him a lot. 7 times, in fact, with the Rosalina Chef. 6 times with PD Piranha, and then you probably don't have to worry too much about it. Then you got Gold PD Piranha at number 6 up 1 spot, 32 assumed tracks, 11 Nitro, still 7 tracks left to see. This pairing covers 119 of the 316 tracks. Some overlap though, 6 overlap with Pink Shy Guy Ninja, PD Piranha, and Gold Yoshi, Gold something. And then number 5, we got PD Piranha Me Suit, 23 assumed tracks, 10 Nitro, 4 tracks left to see. This pairing covers 114 of the 316 tracks. Does overlap a whopping 8 times with the non-Me version of himself. When you're looking at how many tracks these Miis have, 8's substantial, but it's kind of self-explanatory when you think about PD Me and PD having some overlap there. At number 4, down 1 spot, question block. He fell down 1 spot to number 4. 28 assumed tracks, 9 Nitro, 3 tracks left to see. This pairing covers 116 of the 316 tracks. Those overlap 6 times with Mario Satellite View, 5 times with PD Piranha, 4 times with Larry Wintertime, and Daisy Tidress, and Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer. None of these, again, you got 2 Coinboxers on here, but some other non-Coinbox drivers you may not have to worry too much about. At number 3, up 1 spot, Daisy Tidress, 37 assumed tracks, 15 Nitro. That's a huge number there. She's got some really good coverage. And as you can see there on her picture of all her tracks, relatively narrow. I mean, there's a couple tracks where there's a lot of other drivers, but in general, again, you notice there's a lot of unlocks as well. That's very unique to her for whatever reason. This pairing covers 123 of the 316 tracks, which again, huge number there for Daisy Tidress. She pairs really well with a lot of things. The biggest concern, and this is actually a pretty big concern, 8 overlaps though with the Gold Me Suit. Gold Me Suit obviously being a Me Suit and Coinbox, and she's not any bigger than him when you think about Hitbox. That's 8 dead tracks, unfortunately. Gold Charging Chuck, hold down the number 2 spot, 34 assumed tracks, 16 Nitro, 4 tracks left to see, covering a whopping 123 of the 316 tracks. Does overlap 6 times with the non-gold version of himself, and Yoshi Gold Egg, Gold something. You also have Gold Me Suit, finally at our number 1. No surprise here. He's been at number 1. He's probably going to be at number 1 for the whole rest of the year, to be honest with you. I just don't see something coming in, and we already knew his buffing cycle was going to be unlike any other driver, and here he is just crushing it. 33 assumed tracks, 16 Nitro. He's seen every track in the game, though. 116 of the 316 tracks for this pairing. And then he does overlap, as we talked about, 8 times with Daisy Tidress, 7 times with Gold Yoshi Gold something and Peach Happy, 5 times with Meowser and Luigi Vacation. So there you go. That's our top 10. No surprise there when it comes to the Gold Me Suit. Not a lot of movement. Couple little switches here and there between Daisy Tidress and Question Block, and then also PD Piranha Gold and White Tanuki Mario, but everything else kind of staying the same. The biggest, most glaring thing I had to point out, Gold Me Suit, the way that this algorithm works is the number 1 item in the game is set at 100, and everything is basically a percentage of that. And so this is a big 9-point, basically 8-point swing between Gold Me and the next driver, which is Gold Charging Chuck. And then after him, a whopping 11 points between he and Daisy Tidress. So big jumps there, big fall off. If you compare even Gold Me to Daisy Tidress, you're talking about 21 points there. So big drop off there. It's Gold Me show right now, guys. If you haven't gotten to tier 80, we wish you the best of luck. We hope you can get there somehow, despite having to overcome a double feature for this guy. In ranked, it's absolutely insane. Got Mario King at 11, Luigi Knight at 12, Yoshi Gold Egg, Gold something at 13, Meowser at 14, and PD Piranha at 15. Antilev, you still there, man? What's your thoughts on these drivers?
It's not on there because we don't show the jumps and the drops from the 11 to 15. But Luigi Knight actually went up 11 spots. It's a huge jump for a driver that's as old as him, and it's because he got these buffs, this tour. So that's a rare case. But I mean, the rest of the top 15 is very stable. Poochie didn't quite get in. He's sitting at 17th. He went up 13 spots. For the rest, it's all kind of predictable. And as we've been talking about, they've been really spreading out the buffs, especially for these top drivers a lot. So it's not really, I mean, this is pretty boring and it's not that much of a surprise, but at the same time, nothing really happened to shake things up.
Yeah. Some comments just about if you are below tier 80, you're free to play or whatever, then Daisy Tidress would be more valuable to you, which is I think a fair point. Snout asks about Gold Yoshi Gold something. It's a name that I gave to him probably about 9 months ago or so, and it just stuck. Specifically, Larry 98 was having a lot of fun with it, and since we're a big fan of Larry 98 too, we just kept it going, and it's kind of fun. I wish I had better nicknames for. I think the Frenzy fans do a really phenomenal job finding fun nicknames for all this kind of stuff. But just try to put a smile on people's face, and even if it's one person, we like to do it. That's what we like to do here in the Stud Fam. But Nap makes a good point. Meowser's almost fallen outside the top 15 for the first time in over a year. And then Iwatako says, fascinating how Gold Yoshi is still there after what's been kind of overshadowed by the Gold Me and all these other drivers. It's interesting that he's still up there. But I think if you're Coinbox, you're just going to make the top 15. Like, that's just going to happen. Almost every single Coinbox driver at some point has hit our top 15, top 10 even in almost every situation. So I can't think of an exception. Obviously, we weren't doing the rundown when Mario Hakama was in the game, but he might be again. Even he was, I'm sure, at the top. He probably was top driver when he first came out. Even if we didn't know anything about Coinbox at the time. Let's get to Karts. We get the Red Off-Roader at 10. Unfortunately, it's fallen 6 spots. 28 assumed tracks, 13 Nitro. 4 tracks left to see. Got some good pairings here. So, the Red Off-Roader, did it get any buffs?
No. Actually, if you look at the raw value and change, it is one of the few that has a negative value because the Blazing Eagle dropped in value. Everything else gained value around it, but the Red Off-Roader is so that's actually down 6 spots and definitely deserved.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. With so many buffs this tour, and you got none. I can't believe it, man. That's insane. But yeah, obviously, I mean, everything got a kind of a good buff, at least one buff, and then you had the Blazing Eagle kind of fall a little bit. A little chink in its armor if we're going to stick with the night theme here. But yeah, Red Off-Roader fell at 6 spots. It does have a nice big hitbox, and pairs really good. This is, I think, the first time we've seen a kart pairing with 2 gold karts here. Very interesting. Mumu Off-Roader pairing really well with the Red Off-Roader. Even though at first we weren't sure what its coverage overlap was going to look like. But this pairing covers 108 of the 316 tracks. It does overlap 7 times with the Lightning McQueen. Again, fun name there. And 6 times, though, with the Shield Speedster, Pink Speeder, and the Gold Bullet Blaster. Some of these have been meta carts. So, Red Off-Roader, it's to me, I kind of think about the Red Off-Roader the way I do the Black Star Shoot and the Boo Masks. Like, they kind of came out in the same tour. A lot of overlap with each other, though. Just like really squirmy overlap that you kind of have to pay a lot of attention to if you like these baddie items. We got the Rainbow Streetle at number 9, fell 6 spots. 27, a lot of movements in karts, as you can already see. 27 assumed tracks, 6 Nitro. This pairing covers 109 of the 316 tracks. Does overlap 7 times with this Rainbow Taxi, 6 times with this Taylor Swift, and looks like also the Jumbo Jetter and Camo Tanuki kart, and 5 times with the Mumu Off-Roader. So again, some of these bigger karts, some of these more meta karts in the Rainbow Streetle, I wouldn't necessarily recommend investing in the Rainbow Streetle unless you just love the rainbow and the look of it, and you're not too heavily invested into coin boxes. Here we go, Shield Speedster, as we talked about, still in our top 10 after however many months it's been around. It's seen every track except for 4. So that means, this guy's legacy here. 29 assumed tracks, 14 Nitro, number 8 on our list. Some good pairings here, covering 111 of the 316 tracks. Does overlap 6 times, as we talked about, with this Red Off-Roader and the Blue Crawly kart and the Piranha Pipes. 5 times with the Gold Eagle. At number 7, holding down its spot, which is tough to do, as you can see with these karts. Booper Shuttle, 28 assumed tracks, 10 Nitro. This pairing covers 112 of the 316 tracks. Does overlap, though, with this Rainbow Taxi. This Rainbow Taxi seems to be kind of a meta overlapper. 7's a lot, considering all things. It doesn't overlap anything with 6 times, so 7's obviously a lot. Of the karts that it overlaps 5 times with the Lunar Cruiser, Blazing Eagle, Armored Rider, Tyco Drum kart here. So again, these karts with 5 overlaps are in the meta. These are pretty strong karts, so something to be aware of there. Camo Tanuki kart, 6 on our list, down 1 spot, 29 assumed tracks, 12 Nitro, 7 tracks left to see. This pairing covers 113 of the 316 tracks. Does overlap with the Gold Bullet Blaster and the Streetle 7 times, 6 times with the Cact B, 5 times with the Pink Speeder, and the Rainbow Taxi. Man, this Rainbow Taxi is everywhere on everyone's overlap, it seems. I'm not sure why. Taiko Drum Dasher up 5 spots to number 5, 27 assumed tracks, 7 Nitro. Still has 92 tracks left to see, guys. This is really strong. If you like this cart, it's not the biggest hitbox, but it's kind of like right there where you draw the line of that minimum viable hitbox, that MVH, but still doing really well. When it comes to its coverage, it's got pretty good coverage. Now, when you look on the right, there's a couple tracks where you got plenty of bigger options. But you also have some sneaky options there, some newer tracks like the Mushroom Bridge, Waluigi Stadium, got the Dry Ruins. You have some good newer tracks there for the Taiko Drum Dasher. Positive there. And then when you look at the overlaps, you're not too scared about some of these. The Rainbow Streetle 6, 5 for the Flowery Wagon, and the Blooper Shuttle. But again, not everyone's invested in those. So if you're kind of late to the game on those, Taiko Drum Dasher might get you through. At number 4, Pink Speeder down 2 spots, 29 assumed tracks, 13 Nitro, 15 tracks left to see. This pairing covers 115 of the 316 tracks. 10 overlap, though, with the Pink Sneaker. Obviously, that makes sense. They're both pink. They probably have a lot of princess pink type of tracks. But 10's a lot. We rarely see 10 very often. So that is a high number, but not one that has been in the meta. So you're probably not having an issue with that. 6 overlap, though, with the Red Off-Roader, and 5 with the Blazing Eagle, Kamatanuki Kart, and Red Comet. At number 3, Mumu Off-Roader. Again, it's kind of been a little hit or miss. It's been riding its coattails for a little bit with 30 assumed tracks, 9 Nitro. That is a lot of tracks, 7 tracks left to see. This pairing covers 113 of the 316 tracks. Mumu Off-Roader might have a lot more efficiency, maybe more quality than quantity, which is totally fine. Look at all these overlaps, though. Other than the Warrior Wagon, you're not too concerned about it. Mumu Off-Roader is going to have that edge advantage, that size advantage over any of these. So that's pretty positive there. At number 2, Blue Collie Kart did go up 6 spots, 25 assumed tracks, 8 Nitro. Again, we had as we talked about, the Blazing Eagle fell quite a lot. So if you had any ranked track and you were already in the top 10, you're moving on up. So 2 pairings cover 110 of the 316 tracks. There's overlap those with some big carts between the 7 with the Armored Rider, 6 with the Shielded Speedster. Not too worried about the rest. Blazing Eagle still holding down number 1. We'll see how long that lasts. 28 assumed tracks, 20 Nitro. It's been on a tear since it came out of that city tour initially. 113 of the 316 tracks with these 2 combos. Surprisingly, you got the Rainbow Taxi in there. Does overlap 5 times with the Red Off-Roader, Pink Speeder, and the Blooper Shuttle. 4 times with the Kamatanuki Kart and the Gold Bullet Blaster. So you're starting to see some camo overlap as well. So there's our top 10. Blazing Eagle has been on a tear. It obviously has a score of 100. Substantial jump, though, or drop between that and the Blue Crawley Kart, about 9.5 points there to Blue Crawley being at 90.39. And then it's kind of close. There's a little drop off between that and the Mumu Off-Roader. But then from there on, it's neck and neck. It literally is 87.51, 87.46, 80, 86, 86, 85. It goes all the way down there, pretty close. So again, kind of a theme. We have kind of a number 1 clear cut. We have a number 2 clear cut, and then a little bit of a drop. The second clear cut, maybe not as clear as Drivers, but still for what it's worth. At number 11, Gold Lunar Cruiser, Rainbow Taxi at 12, Streetle at 13, Gold Bullet Blaster at 14, and Gold Bruiser. Antilev, what's your thoughts on the carts, man?
So that gap of Blazing Eagle and Blue Crawley Kart is almost 10 points, but the Blue Crawley Kart actually went up 8 points in raw score. So that is the gap is actually I think the gap between 1 and 2 last tour was something like 15 points. So Blazing Eagle definitely fell off. I don't want to say it fell off, but it didn't really get the caliber of buffs which we're accustomed to. So there's still a massive gap there, obviously, but Blue Crawley Kart and Mumu Off-Roader and Taiko Drum Dashers are all kind of trying to. This may be the first indication that Blazing Eagle isn't going to maintain its dominant position. Who knows? It's funny because we're kind of like, oh yeah, Blue Crawley Kart, Mumu Off-Roader. Well, they haven't been that impressive, but I mean, it's as you said, it's so difficult for carts to kind of suck themselves apart, and you see between the like number 3 and number 7, they're all really tight in terms of their actual scores. For the rest, yeah, the Tycho Drum Dasher is a big surprise. That's an interesting one. It just had like crazy good buffs. I think it had the most buff value out of any single cart this tour. Yeah, the most buff. The Jumbo Jetter was like slightly behind, but still, Tycho Drum Dasher had the best. Other than that, yeah, nothing really to mention. The Gold Bruiser sneaking into the top 15, going up 6 spots, is a nice one. People have been talking about that. It pairs really well with a bunch of other cards, so that's nice to see. Other than that, yeah, nothing, no real surprises here. A little bit of movement, but I mean, with all those buffs, it's not that big of a surprise.
Yeah, Marco asks, why does the Gold Bruiser pair with everything? And G. Siegel says it has the most tracks. It has a bunch of old retros these new ones don't cover. So certainly you could do worse when it comes to pairing. I know we're scared of gold carts, but this Gold Bruiser might be an exception. Crested Peak mentions meta items tend to pick up majority of newer tracks. And then some people call out the Yellow Off-Roader not being in the top 10. It's obviously been kind of forgotten. And what a time to be alive, says Eva Taco.
Nothing lasts forever, man. Yeah, there's a certain point that, the gold glider used to be like without question the number 1 glider in the game. Pink Gold Peach used to be the best driver in the game. Nothing lasts forever.
Think about like Black Great Sail just was so dominant, and unfortunately it was kind of left behind. So every once in a while you'll see it come back for a little bit, and that's kind of the point I think Knapp was making earlier with the Silver Star Shoot. It was a really strong glider back in 2020, and here it is. Saving some of us for at least 1 week. All right, let's get to gliders. 8-bit Super Glider number 10, down 4 spots. 26 assumed tracks, 7 Nitro. 84 tracks left to see, which is still substantial. This pairing covers 111 out of the 316 tracks. I will say my biggest fear, though, with this 8-bit Super Glider is the overlap here. We got the Wonderful Diamond overlapping 6 times, the Yellow Hard Hat 5 times, Calico Toe Beam Balloons 5 times. These are 3 gliders that have been pretty popular in the meta. Secure Origami Glider, an oldie but goodie. Obviously got two buffs, 1 in ranked. And it's that ranked track is that ranked buff was monster. So 31 tracks left to see. I'm sorry, 31 tracks, which is a great number there for gliders. Plus 15 Nitro. We talked. Man, this is one of those gliders when it was at its peak. It had a huge number. Even though it was old, I invested in it after like I think 8 or 9 months of it being out.
And it's been great.
It's been great. Very happy with that investment. That rarely ever happens when it comes to these older gliders. Same thing with the 8-bit Super Mushroom. We've been talking a lot about that in our server too. It's really, really strong. It's not a bad one to go back and invest in, but we rarely see that. So here it is, Sakura Origami Glider. It used to be number 1 glider in the game for maybe about 2 or 3 tours, but here it is, up 6 spots, back in the top 10. These pairings cover 117 out of the 316 tracks. The overlap, though, 7 with the Mario Hat and the Candlelight Flight, which Candlelight Flight was a meta crusher there at the same period of time. So maybe you pick one or the other. Certainly, kind of looking at that way. Black Star Shoot up 2 spots to number 8, 28 assumed tracks, 15 Nitro, 4 tracks left to see. These pairings cover 114 out of 316 tracks. Those overlap 9 times, though, with this Boo Masks and also the 8-bit Bullet Bill. Both of those are 2 alarming gliders. Both of them have been in the meta over the last year. And 8-bit Bullet Bill, just such a strong glider. Definitely that, and any of the 8-bit items, really. Feel free to invest in them. They seem to just perennials, will always have good value for whatever it's worth. Gold Hard Hat did fall down 2 spots to number 7, even though it is in ranked. The buff it got was not a ranked buff, and that part's tough. But yeah, it was in ranked. 33 assumed tracks, 7 Nitro, 29 tracks left to see, which is pretty good considering how long it's been out. These pairings cover 117 of 316 tracks. 2 sneaky gliders that you have to be aware of it overlapping with the Fire Manta, which has been pretty insane this year, to be honest with you. overlapped 7 times along with the Golden Wings, one that many of us invested into a lot last year. And if you like coin gliders, you may just want to pick between the two. Then pipe balloons 6 times and boom masks 5. Nabbit parachute, guys. Look at this guy. Up 5 spots to number 6. 29 assumed tracks, 6 nitro. A still whopping 73 tracks left to see. It's phenomenal for him. This pairing covers 115 and 316 tracks. So basically half the, well, maybe not half the tracks, but pretty strong there. The wonderful Garnet and the question block 8-bit glider overlap 6 times, 5 times the Black Star Chute and the Goomba. So these are some meta items you might want to pay attention to. The Nabbit's pretty sneaky though. It's rising very quickly. We'll see what happens. Calico Toe Beam Balloons. We talked about this one being super sneaky. 32 assumed tracks, which is phenomenal. 10 nitro, 7 tracks left to see. These pairings cover 119 and 316 tracks. It's really high on my tracker for if you've been kind of watching and kind of investing similarly. This Calico Toe Beam Balloons is really, really sneaky. Take a look at it in your sheet. Well worth it. The Yoshi Cookies and the Goomba 6 times overlap. 5 times with this checkered red and the Mario Hat Balloon. At number 4, wonderful Diamond. Fell 1 spot. As we talked about, its buff was not in ranked. But it's still pretty good. I wouldn't be too afraid of it. Anything in the top 5, definitely worth investing in. 27 assumed tracks, 8 nitro. 54 tracks left to see. These pairings cover 114 and 316 tracks. Those overlap with the Parapanini and the Rainbow Taxi Glider, Rainbow Fair Flyer, 7 times, and also the Holly, Festive Holly. 6 times with the red checkered there for the wonderful Diamond. Moving to the number 3, we got the Autumn Leaves up 1 spot. 33 assumed tracks, 11 nitro, 7 tracks left to see. These pairings cover 119 of the 316 tracks. Nice to see those Calico Toe Beam Balloons in some of these pairings. It does overlap 8 times though with the Cream Toe Beam Balloons, 7 times with the 8-bit Block Glider and the Yellow Hard Hat Balloons. Then number 2, holding down from last tour, wonderful Garnet, 29 assumed tracks, 17 nitro, 15 tracks up to see. Has the Gold Hard Hat as in both pairings, covering 115 of the 316 tracks. Even the record setter, it's still been pretty strong, still pretty good pairing there with some of these gliders. The Parapanini overlaps 7 times with it though, and the pink and the Nabbit, as we talked about, the Nabbit already 6 overlaps there with the wonderful Garnet. And number 1, the Yellow Hard Hat. For now, the better of the 2 hard hats. 29 assumed tracks, 12 nitro, 29 tracks up to see, which is great. Some of these pairings, including some meta items. I mean, you got 8-bit 1-up and 8-bit Super Mushroom and the Golden Wings, covering 113 of the 316 tracks. And then 7 overlap with the Autumn Leaves, which you might want to be aware of, as those have been pretty strong together here in the top 10. Fuzzy Kite 6 overlaps, and the red 8-bit 5 overlaps. So that's our top 10. Again, it's actually pretty close between the Yellow Hard Hat Balloon and the wonderful Garnet and the Autumn Leaves. Really, and then, it's 2 points away from the wonderful Diamond, which is 2 or 3 points away from the Calico Toe Beam Balloons. So this is pretty normal. I'd say really from 5 to 10, it's pretty neck and neck, but pretty good chops there between each one, maybe a 1.5 between each one of the top 4. Then we have at 11, Mario Hat Balloon. At number 12, 8-bit Block Glider. At number 13, 8-bit Goomba. We love the 8-bit items. Record Setter at 14. Surprised the Record Setter back in our top 15 there. Festive Holly at 15. Ansem, what's your thoughts on the gliders, man?
Yeah, it's like so the gliders should be the most volatile of any group because they're close together, because you don't have a thing like skill or hitbox setting them apart. And then we also put so much value on current ranked that from tour to tour they should really go up and down. So this is like a relatively stable top 10 for the gliders. It's interesting, the ones that have jumped up a lot are kind of older gliders actually, like Skura, Black Star Chute. Now Parachute's not that old, whatever. But no, I think everything here makes good sense. The 8-bit Goomba, you don't see it, but it's up 11 spots. We now have 3 of those 8-bit gliders that all came out in the same tour in the top 15. Record setter back in the top 15. That's pretty surprising considering it came out in the same tour as Wonderful Wings, which is now sitting at 59th.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And you mentioned Black Great Sale a while back. That's sitting down at number 89. So just keep in mind, no matter how dominant something can be, the rankings are really what have you done for me lately type of thing. So if you haven't done a lot for me lately, you will fall off quickly.
Yeah.
No, not a whole lot else to say, I guess.
There you go, guys. Let's get into the top movers and shakers. Luigi Gold Knight. Obviously, it's number 80 right off the bat. I think that's pretty substantial. Obviously, it's a Coinbox, so that helps, and it's got some pretty good coverage to start. The Total Tourist did go up 21 spots to number 50. You got the Pink Me suit up 20 spots to 96. Moo Me went up 18 spots to 45. That's probably where I'll draw the line there. For most improved carts, the Red Turbo Birdo did go up 38 spots, but it's at 163. Mm-hmm. The Silver Flower cart went up 34 spots to 59. Gold Cupid Arrow went up 29 spots to 57. Pink Comet did go up 24 spots to 50, so we got something going for us, which is nice. Most improved gliders, we have the Green Checker Glider went up 27 spots to number 90. The Golden Glider went up 19 spots to number 66. Yoshi's Cookies went up 18 spots to 26, so just outside the top 25. Really nice to see for the Yoshi's Cookies. We'll see. There hasn't really been anything crazy meta coming from that tour quite yet, so we'll see if the Yoshi's Cookies does it. We kind of talked a little bit about that Gold Origami Glider up 18 spots to 86. Gold Umbrella up 17 spots to 47. Smiley Flower Glider up 15 spots to 30. That's probably where I'll draw the line. Anything you want to mention there, Antilev?
Not pictured though. I think some of the risers, nothing like super impressive. Smiley Flower up to 30 is a pretty significant jump. Planet Me Racing Suit up to 29, 16 spots up to 29 is pretty significant jump as well. But nothing that really sticks out like whoa. More interesting, I think, is like some of the fallers, especially looking at the gliders. The 8-bit one on Mushroom, a lot of people are talking about it, fell down 13 spots from number 7 to number 20. It's just, its time has come. But we also have a couple of other significant fallers in the gliders. Mid and Berry Balloons down 13 spots to 42. 8-bit Super Mushrooms down 12 spots from 21 to 33. And the Boo Masks down 18 spots from 25 to 43. Those are all former top 10, top 5 gliders even just falling off.
It is interesting that we have seen the Black Star Shoots stick in our top 10 while the Boo Masks have fallen. They were neck and neck for a while, so it's whatever the Black Star Shoot has been doing, certainly keep up the good work, man. We got the ranked items: Mario versus Luigi. Nothing unlocked for week 1 with the Mario Raceway. You do have the 8-bit block glider on Mario Circuit T, thanks to that level 8 unlock. Mario Raceway RT, got that red emblem, level 8 unlock. And that's it for week 1. For week 2, again, both. I mean, I feel bad saying that week 2 is a must win and not week 1. I mean, you want to get the Misu. They're both must win. So whatever you got to do to pull out the win for both weeks, it's going to be tough. And again, win can be, number 2 or even number 3 on that list. So you gotta walk away with these drivers. That's just I think you could even make the argument that week 1 is more of a must win than week 2. Now again, it's only 10 base points, but 10 base points, man, you don't want to miss out on some of these items. You don't know if they'll come back anytime soon. They've been pretty sporadic about which meat suits they bring back. Sometimes you have to wait a little longer than others, but both of them are must wins. I think the community in general might save their tickets week 1 and use them on week 2. Even though I think the week 1 items seem to be a little bit more fun. But maybe you're a Luigi fan and maybe you like some of those Luigi items that are week 2. For that Luigi Circuit T, one to make a lot of note of is that Black Shield and Speedster at level 8. Insane unlock there for Luigi Circuit T. You got Luigi Raceway, the 8-bit Super Glider, 8-bit Gold 8-bit Glider, and Luigi's Hat. Got the level 6 unlocks. Waluigi Stadium, Waluigi Racer Mark II. You get the level 8 unlock. If you win it in ranked for week 1, you can use it in week 2. So there you go. Anything you want to mention about these ranked items?
Of course, kind of depressing. I mean, everything except for Luigi Raceway, which is a returning track, is level 8 unlocks.
Yikes, yeah, some people struggle. It looks like you've tacos at number 15th on the list. I mean, I know we're rooting for you. You can do it. You can do it. Let's get back into the multiple ranked items. Only the Monty Mole Me racing suit will be used 3 times. Dr. Luigi, as we talked about, using 2 times. But you're going to be using Gold Me. Gold Me, you're going to use it both times if you have it. If you don't have it, we're rooting for you. You can get to tier 80 here soon. And if you have it, you don't have it up to a high level, what you waiting on? I don't know what you're waiting to do. Continuing with Luigi, used 2 times. Luigi Golden Knight, obviously used 2 times.
Used 0 times.
What's that? Yeah, 0. Technically, you're going to be using it 0 times. So there you go. Luigi Knight used 2 times. Moo Me 2 times. Peach Me 2 times. And Poochie twice. So there you go. For Karts, you got the Black Shield Speedster 3 times thanks to that level 8 unlock. If you're willing to take it all the way to 8, you will be rewarded thanks to that. There's the Luigi Circuit where we just talked about. Get the Blue-Green Capsule Kart, Gold Shield Speedster, Gold Warrior Wagon, and Silver Warrior Wagon. All used 2 times, all straight up. The Waluigi Racer Mark II, you can use it 2 times thanks to that level 8 unlock. It's just a matter of if you can get it and use it and take it all the way up there in time. For gliders, both of these 2 commemorative items used substantially. The red over the green, though, 3 times to 2, thanks to that level 8 unlock. You got the Origami Glider, 8-bit Block Glider, 8-bit Super Glider, Gold 8-bit Glider, and Luigi's Hat Balloon, all used 2 times. So there you go. Good luck in ranked. This is going to be a tough one. Definitely don't want to leave any resources on the table if you can somehow win on both weeks. It's going to be a phenomenal one to win. So there you go, guys. Let's get into All Cup ranking MVPs for obvious reason and to no one's support. Luigi's Gold Knight. You can use 12 times in 1 hour. That's crazy. Waluigi, yeah, I know, right? Waluigi Me racing suit, you can use 10 times, which is crazy, man, for a Me suit that's just brand new. Interesting. I'll be keeping my eye on that number. Gold Me suit, you're going to want to use them all 9 times if you can. Mario Racing 9 times. Monty Me Racing Suit also 9 times. Then we have King Mario, Mario Golf, Brown Me, Cat Me, Luigi Chef, Roy Me, Dr. Mario, Luigi Knight, and Mario Hakama. I'm sorry, those last ones. So just my apologies. King Mario and Mario Golf used 8 times. And then Brown, Cat, Luigi Chef, Roy, Dr. Mario, Luigi Knight, and Mario Hakama used 7 times. Surprised to see Hakama on that list. It's been a while. But hopefully Sammy can use him.
We got all those tracks. Mario Circuit 1, 2, 3. So
yeah, that makes sense. We got Gold Shield Speedster used 13 times. That is insane. Dude, that's causing me to want to maybe take it all the way up instead of splitting my resources. That's crazy.
I mean, 11 starting tracks, so like, not surprised.
Yeah. B-Dasher Mark II and Gold 8-bit Pipe Frame and Silver Warrior Wagon used 11 times each. Black Shield Speedster used 10 times. Gold Warrior Wagon 10. Luigi Racer Mark II 10 times. Sneaker Circuit Special Decal Streamliner. Man, it's been a while since I've said that before. And Pinch Hitter used 7 or 8 times there. So I'm not going to go back and mention it. But again, we're talking about Decal Streamliner and Pinch Hitter. What in the world, man? That's so weird. I guess so some of those older tracks there. But at the top of the list, obviously, as it should be, the 2 emblems, red and green, used 12 and 11 respectfully on the top. And again, you're thinking about 45 tracks, so 12 isn't like a lot. But still certainly something that you might want to think about. 8-bit Super Mushroom used 9 times, really strong in a lot of accounts. Peach Hanafuda. I'm saying a lot of names I haven't said in quite some time, but Peach Hanafuda, 8-bit Super Glider. Those used 9 times. We got the Gold 8-bit Glider used 8 times. Luigi Mustache, 8-bit Fireflower, 8-bit Jumping Mario, Cape.
Which is a super.
That's a good point. So that's 7 times for a super. That's really good. Cape Mario Hanafuda, Royal Parachute, and 8-bit block glider, and purple oil paper umbrella used 7 times there for all cup ranking. Anything you want to add there, Antilev?
No, but I mean, we have all these SNES Mario circuits and Ghost Valley ones and stuff coming back. It's normal that we see some of these ancient items that we don't pay a lot of attention to getting a lot of love. You know, and the B Dasher Mark II, the original. At any time there's a Mario Tour, you're going to see it on 10 plus tracks. So I still think it's one that's worth investing in just for those recurring. If you're an ACR player, of course.
And also, G Seagull does say that none of the ranked reward drivers have returned in the Spotlight shop. So,
oh wow,
yeah, I didn't know that none of them. I just assumed maybe 1 or 2. But yeah, so that again makes don't sleep on week 1. Don't just save all your resources.
Not to put too much pressure on you guys.
Man, there's so much pressure. Man, I just remember though last year there was a couple weeks where we had some top 10 drivers in like multiple people's ranked. I really hope that Nintendo does not do that. But I mean, they could. I mean, honestly, it would be smart for them to do it. But they could see a little some Ice Mario flashbacks from some of the people in the community from 2019 or whatever it was, man. When Ice Mario was, yeah. Ask the community about that one. Well, there you go, guys. It's been fun hanging out in the chat. Thank you, Antilev, for joining us. Glad that you're feeling well.
Great to be back, man.
If you haven't yet, please leave a like on this video. If you'd like to, go the extra mile and leave a comment. That would help out as well. But honestly, again, I appreciate everyone's patience. This is doing this with you is a labor of love. It's something that I really enjoy hanging out with you, Antilev. Enjoy doing with the community. And so, you know, as long as I have those members, as long as I have that support, I'll keep it coming, even through the obstacles that we have. Hopefully, we become more efficient as time goes on. For those of you who in the United States who are celebrating or paying homage to Juneteenth, which is why I'm off today, hopefully you're able to do that and show your support. But thank you again, everyone here in the community. Love you guys so much. I'll see you guys on Kart Talk. It'll be interesting. I'll be in Kansas City later this week, so I'll have to arrange some things to be able to make it happen. But until next time, may the frenzy luck be with you. See you, chat. Thanks for hanging out with us.